Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Speedy. Welcome, NotSoSpeedRuns. We are here back with City of Mist, 6 and 20 Metropolis. We're back for Season 2, Episode 2. Super excited to be back tonight. I may not have my bar behind me, but, you know, we'll make do. We don't need drinks to have a good time here. It's good to see all the lovely people here in chat. Let's go ahead and get things started as we usually do by going around to our wonderful cast and seeing how they're doing and asking who they are and who they're playing. Starting, as we do on this layout, with Johnny. Not MC Johnny, character Johnny.
But I am just a man.
What?
A boy.
Oh, a man that is now a boy. I must get into character. Booger fart jokes. Too soon? Are we talking about the character, Johnny? I believe that's what I heard.
Yes.
Yeah. Johnny, get up out of my business, all right? This is Johnny time. So, hello, everyone. My name's McLoken. I play Johnny on here. I'm so excited to be here today. I'm drinking a Monster. I'm full of energy.
Excellent. Let's hope it doesn't turn into a real monster, as that's completely possible to happen in this city. And you should be seriously concerned for your health.
We don't talk about monsters, especially ones that live in the water.
No, definitely not giant ones.
They don't. They don't exist. No, that doesn't.
Those don't exist.
No.
Oh no.
Oh yes. What are you thinking, Tren?
Oh no.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's go to meta.
How's it going? I'm Metamancer. Everything is wonderful. How's it going? Yeah, I play Morrigan Kane, the psychologist of the group, who's also pretty messed up. I'm curious to see what happens today, and yeah, I'm just gonna go with the flow to tonight's episode. Probably not, actually. If something really bad happens, I'll probably step in, but you know, just want to put that out there. It's gonna be a great time. Yay, roleplay!
Yeah. All right, Trendane. Now you can talk about whatever it is that you so desire.
Okay, so desire. Fine, yes, but not what just came to mind. No. I just
okay. That's fine.
What
came
to
mind,
Trend?
What came to mind, Trend?
What came to mind? It's on Discord, Johnny.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, thing.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, 100%. Yes. Oh yes.
So
I'm scared now.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Johnny should be scared, like the character Johnny. Yeah.
Why? What happened?
Nothing.
Trent had an evil idea, and he just gave it to the MC, and he's gonna die now.
What? Right. I'm Trent. I'm Trendane. I'm playing Herbert, who is the newest person in this show. Yeah, and as Speedy mentioned in the tweet that he sent out, he is this man who seems to crumble. And it's very odd.
Yeah, he's made of clay or dirt, stone.
You're Michael Jackson.
Shit. Now everybody knows. Thank you. So glad that I managed to swallow that before it just went spraying everywhere, because I lost it if I was. Yeah. But yeah, very excited to see how this goes, and it's gonna be interesting.
Oh yeah, excellent. And I, of course, am Speedy. This is my channel, NotSoSpeedRuns, and I am playing as Giovanni, your humble bartender with a penchant for seeing through illusions and getting out of sticky situations. And as of last episode, it's been revealed that he seems to be very concerned about this earthquake that has overcome Metropolis for some deeply personal reasons, and I'm sure we'll see a little bit more of that tonight as well. But before we turn things over to our MC, just a few announcements. First of all, there is a tweet out. If you wouldn't mind sending out a quick retweet in order to drum up some attention, bring your friends, all that good stuff. We would love to have you, and it is in chat. Also, all month long on this channel, we're raising money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Really amazing charity. They do research on cancer and other serious illnesses, and they provide treatment to people who are, or to children who are dealing with them at no cost to the family. Super amazing charity, and we're happy to be working with them. There's a link in chat right now if you are interested in donating. There are incentives for donating as well. So if you would like to help any of us succeed on our roles, because sometimes we're not very good like last time, you can donate $5 for a critical success or failure, but mostly success.
I actually failed a role with St. Jude once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, about 20 years ago when they were putting in a new billing center down in LA or in Orange County. I was hired by the company that was doing all the network wiring for it. And they were teaching me how to wire the jacks properly. And I wired half of the entire billing center backwards.
Oh, no.
And so I had
Trend, no.
Yeah. Fortunately, we found out about it before the end of the day, and I was just really angry with myself. And so they said, "It's okay, we'll fix this." No, I fucked it up. I'll fix it. And I was livid, very angry with myself. Spent the rest of the day fixing my.
So you can donate to help us prevent us from fucking up like Trend did so long ago, or to make us fuck up like Trend did so long ago. Either way. And you can donate $15 or more if you would like to create an NPC in the world at the MC's discretion, and it might not necessarily be introduced during the session, but we'd be happy to work with you on something like that. So those incentives are out there. Any help is greatly appreciated. Other than that, I don't think we have too much else to talk about. So I will turn things over to our wonderful MC, Johnny, to take it away. Tell us where we left off.
No, I'm going to leave you guys in suspense. I think it's better that way.
All right. I'm the MC now. Everyone wins. Team Esper is the best team.
You keep playing that card, my friend. I'm not sure it works quite that way. All right.
You heard it.
I was here for last season. I'm pretty sure we fucking won. So,
So technically, on the merits of who solved what mystery, absolutely, it's all about Team Esper. But don't let Malcolm hear you say that. All right, guys, let's get started.
I'm tweeting him now.
Aren't you going to be texting him instead? Isn't that what Johnny and Malcolm do?
Or send him a pizza with.
He doesn't answer the phone.
He's a jerk. You should just tell him he's a jerk. You should just type to him.
You're a jerk. I literally don't know if he has that phone. So
he still has Flickr's phone. It was established. Just FYI. Or no, he doesn't. It was the new phone that you sent him, and yes, he still has that phone too. That's also been established. Anyways,
he has two phones. Jesus, he doesn't have enough phones.
Well, Tink needed a phone.
Which phone did she get?
I don't know, but he gave her one. Ask him. I don't follow his logic. I'm not his keeper.
He doesn't have one.
You are his keeper.
Literally your job.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get started. Previously on 6 and 20 Metropolis, the Maiden Butcher strikes again, and Morrigan is called to the scene. It turns out that he is taunting her with visions of her past with Derek. Gio, on the other hand, is trying to understand the dreams he's having and the earthquake that shook the city. For Johnny, the fighting rings are losing their luster, and a mysterious vision of an island off the coast of the city beckons. The crew comes back together at the R&R Diner to regroup and talk about Morrigan's new case. While moving into action, Johnny witnesses the skulls attacking an innocent, Herbert. Johnny plays the hero as Gio discovers the unusual nature of this new individual. Before they can investigate further, though, more skulls arrive on the scene, and it looks like a fight is brewing. And so we're going to fade into the Apollo driving off with Herbert as Johnny uses his signature move and throws 2 skulls at a larger group of skulls moving around the corner and coming at them. Leaving Geo and Morgan just kind of, assessing the situation from, a distance. Johnny, what are you doing?
So I remember them shooting guns at me, and I'm holding
Yes. So you were absolutely right. They started shooting guns. So gunfires are starting. You're throwing people at them. How do you want to do this?
Well,
first.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a roll, and it's gonna be.
I'm not sure there's a roll that needs to happen here, sir. Are you sure?
Okay. I mean, I can fucking throw these people. That's fine.
Okay.
I think it's hit them with all I've got.
Because gunfire started. Are you sure it's not either face danger or?
I think my invulnerability would just bypass bullets. Per se, like if I could stab myself in the eye with like metal, I don't think bullets are gonna affect me all too much. Unless you want me to roll face danger. I
was force danger or going toe to toe, because there's a certain element of risk that's involved regardless of whether you're invulnerable or not, right? You were expecting to receive the potential injury when you were stabbing yourself in the eye, basically, right? That may play some element into this, though, right? Intent and knowing something's coming to hurt you versus seeing an attack that isn't coming at you necessarily, or having multiple attacks coming at you at the same time, right? I mean, I'm okay with you kind of living with the idea that you're invulnerable, but there has to be some weakness to it or some element of chance to this. We have to figure out what that is.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I mean, we kind of touched on it last episode when we talked about the lightning.
Mm-hmm.
But I think comparing bullets and lightning are very two different things.
That's a fair point. All right, so go ahead and roll it as hit him with all you got.
Okay. I mean, like, I'll be fair. I'll totally, like, if I'm like, let's do face danger, because this could be something that that could be much up his alley, right? Of getting hurt. I'm just gonna do 4. Where is it? Okay, there's roll 20. Thank you. And with all I got. Why did you come back? God damn it. I don't know why that unclicked.
What come back?
The descriptions.
No, the roll. So result was 11.
Yeah.
The all the stats.
Okay.
I had that clicked before, and then maybe when I hit reset it. No, it shouldn't have done that.
It doesn't do it when I hit reset.
Yeah, I don't know why it came back. I don't know, whatever. So I just gonna do collateral damage and knock them all over. As he's like holding these guys, he's like, man overboard, and he's like just throwing skulls at skulls. So so I choose 2. I want to do
You said you want to do collateral damage, so that's one of them, right? You want to get more than just one of them, or more than just a couple of
and
them.
I hold the target's attention.
Can I make a suggestion? You know what? Actually, I'm not going to make a suggestion because. Okay. So you throw them, and the bodies go flying, right? And they're sailing through, and there's about I'm going to say there's 6 of them, right?
Okay.
And since you threw them in such a way to make sure that those 2 bodies do as much damage, they're basically dead weight and hit them. All just pretty squarely, the front couple, spot on, knocking them into the other ones, and the other ones hit their heads, the ones that are in the back kind of hit their heads, and they all drop at the same time. They're all down, right? All 6 of them. As guns firing, the bodies kind of flow through, and bam, they're all down. You just hit them really freaking hard and basically knock them out. You've hit their hurt threshold. And they're down.
All of them are knocked out.
All of them. It was basically like watching Johnny double bowl basically with 2 balls or 2, objects, and basically just knocked all 6 down.
Okay.
And they have flanks.
So Johnny's gonna sit there and he's like, "Well, I didn't want to knock them all out. Well, all right. What do we do now?"
I don't even know why they were bothering that man. But now that he's gone, well, yeah. Did you recognize him? Either of you?
No.
No, but I got a decent look at him, and he's one of us.
How do you know that?
I can tell. I took a look, and it doesn't help that when he pulled off his headscarf, whatever it was,
Ski mask.
yeah. I touched his neck, and this is what came off. And I just rubbed my fingers, and there's just dust falling between them. And my hands are like almost like just stained with it. I'm just trying to get it off.
So he's really old?
Old people don't quite turn into dirt. Well, given enough time, but that's usually after they die.
That's anybody who's been dead for a while.
Oh, he's a zombie.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah, it's weird. I tried to get a sense of what he was and what kind of, I don't know, motivations he had, and all I saw was a room full of statues. Some broken, some full, but
okay.
Seems like him too.
Okay, well, the only thing I noticed is that he's looking up at this shop. I've never been here before, though. I don't know if he came out of it and then got jumped, or if he was going there, or there's something else happening. I don't know.
There was something else I saw when I was trying to get a better understanding. I could see the statues in like a house in a sort of like a statue garden, and I saw the address of it.
Okay.
We could go there, but I don't know how much this really impacts us. I don't know. I'm just saying.
He got away. I mean,
he also did say he'd be back. If we do want to talk to him, it's always an option.
I mean, he was just getting picked on by skulls. There's no other real point to talk to him.
It's true. But, I mean, depends on what the skull's reasoning is.
They're assholes.
Also true.
I mean, we could try waking one of them up. We have 6 of them.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't see that being all too important.
Well, we can go talk to Samuel now and just bring all 6 of these unconscious people there and bring them to his doorstep.
How are we going to carry 8 people?
Johnny goes and grabs 8 people by their leather jackets and like holds them like grocery bags and picks them up. And he's like, yeah.
You don't think that's going to look a little strange walking on the street in the middle of the day?
Yeah. Even if they're gangsters, the cops would notice that.
Have you guys not been paying attention at all? People don't look anymore. Look at the diner. And I'm like, I go in front of the diner and I start spinning in a circle. Look at me. And what are the people in the diner doing, Johnny?
So we're going to cut to the people in the diner and what they actually see. They see a crazy teenager sort of spinning. Like, he just doesn't care, and he's just kind of floating his hair like this. They don't see anybody in his hand.
my goodness, Marjorie, do you see that young man out there? He's got like 8 different sex dolls he's holding in his grasp. We should call the police. That's just not right. There's probably impressionable children out here.
Okay, that was better. That was better than my description. But no, they don't take notice. I mean, it's no more than just a little bit of an unusual situation, a fancy. They don't see what Johnny's actually doing.
Okay, yeah. It sound like, look. I mean, it's not that far away. It's a couple of blocks.
Okay.
It's fair. I guess we could ask some questions.
Can we get information about this earthquake potentially?
Yeah, that's more of my concern.
I
But
thought that's why we're going to talk to Samuel.
What does Samuel know about earthquakes? Why did we?
I don't know. I just remember you always wanted to talk to Samuel, and what?
no, we're going the cross end. We're not dealing with the skulls. It's the beasts. That said, if the beasts are up to something, the skulls might know.
Okay, so what are we gonna do exactly then? Are we going to the skulls or not?
Personally, I don't care that much about the skulls. I'd rather just go.
All right, and he just drops everyone.
Well, okay, I guess my car's here, so.
All right, good. Thank you again.
So when everyone starts leaving, I go into one of the skull's pockets, and take out the phone and go look for a name that says boss or something, like someone who would, like, they put their contact as boss or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna call it.
Okay.
And then hold it to my ear and wait for someone to answer.
It rings, and then the voicemail picks up, and you hear a brief sort of voice message that doesn't really indicate.
If I get a voicemail, I hang up.
Okay.
I call a different number. I don't know what number it looks like. Can I do an investigation to find a number that looks pertinent to someone who's like in the skulls, like a weird nickname or something?
Sure. I'm not going to even have you do an investigation. Ultimately, what are you trying to do, though? Here?
I'm calling someone from the skulls. Someone, I don't care who, if it's leadership or not, and trying to get in contact with them.
Name is Jawbone.
Yeah, Jawbone. What I'm doing is I'm telling him to pick their fucking members up and not to fucking fuck around by the R&R diner, because that's my area, and then hang up.
So when you get on the phone with somebody and you start that conversation, you immediately get, who the hell is this? Who the hell do you think you are?
Do you know the docs?
Yeah.
Do you know the guy who punches people out in one hit?
Yeah.
Fucking that too. And then I hang up.
The threat coming from a teenage boy's voice is the best thing.
I was gonna say.
That makes it even better.
The phone starts ringing again.
No, I crush it. And I leave.
One of the other phones starts ringing as you were walking away.
Morrigan picks it up. Hello?
Put him back on the phone.
Yeah, he's already walking away, so if you have a message that you need me to tell him, I'll let you know.
Tell him to return to the ring tonight.
Right. She closes the phone. Nope.
Meta know about the ring? Oh,
No.
Not Meta, sorry.
Morgan? No.
Oh. I mean,
That's why she kind of is confused and then shuts the phone off. Puts it back in the pocket of one of the gang members that it was belonging to tries to trail after Johnny. Johnny, my car's over here, and do you want to tell me a little bit about the ring?
Nah,
No, you really should, though.
there is no ring. I'm not a jewelry kind of guy.
You weren't exactly quiet on the phone there, Johnny.
No.
We could hear what you were saying.
Yeah?
I don't know what you guys want me to do. I literally haven't changed anything about my microphone. Can you guys not hear me well in
I hear you
Zoom?
fine.
I hear you fine too.
Yeah.
Are
Must just be
you
a stream thing.
so like what are your mic levels at
They're
for
maxed out.
Maybe just turn us down so it evens out.
I guess so. Turn your own volumes up. How's about that?
I can turn my volume up.
No, not you. I'm talking about them. And
While we're on this subject, real quick, can you just pick a monologue sentence that is a fairly long length, and just as you're talking, pull the microphone closer to your face and then back away,
I can't pull it any closer than it is.
or you lean towards it or whatever. But
That would literally be require me to get up half at my chair.
okay.
That's not an option.
Nope, not an option. It's my monitors are quite literally in the way of the rest of the arm, so I can't put it any much lower than this without hitting the monitor. So yeah, guess you guys are just gonna have to go get your ears checked.
What?
What?
Yep.
Jinx. All right. So back into the scene, Morgan is questioning Johnny about
The Ring.
Good movie.
You like
Johnny.
horror movies?
I'll let
Johnny, have you been fighting people by the docks?
No.
Why are you lying, Johnny?
I'm not lying. You're
You do
lying.
know I am a psychologist, right? I can tell lies more easily than most people, and you're
Yeah,
a teenager and you don't know how to lie well. I'm just being
Look.
honest with you.
I have just to say that I am a hard worker, and that's all.
That's great, but now you're being threatened, so what's going on?
I don't remember being threatened.
Can you please tell me more about whatever is going on in the docks and this ring, please?
It is a club where people hang out and they get their frustrations out.
I see, and this is a legal activity?
I mean, is anything legal?
Yes.
We had
There's
figure
lots
out
of things
the
that are
earthquake.
legal.
There is bigger fish to fry right now.
Can't change the
Let's
subject.
go.
Stop deflecting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go to Old Town then.
Well, you can't go anywhere since you're in a moving vehicle, but okay.
Are we in the car?
Yes!
When did that happen?
Obviously, while we were walking to the car, I decided this is what happened. Duh. Come on, keep up with the sequence of events, man.
Look, Johnny, I shouldn't have to say this, but I know that whatever we're doing has been hidden more. People don't seem to notice as much, but you're really pushing those limits.
I mean, I think it's fine.
You're using your abilities against normal people. I don't think that's fine.
I don't know if they're normal or not. You don't know if they're normal or not. I've never seen you there.
There are now apparently probably most of the skulls know your name and face and that you're incredibly strong. Not to mention the fact that
I don't know
already Antonio Vidalis and unknown number of gangsters are fully aware of who you are. You're putting yourself at risk.
Not to mention your family. What would your parents have to say about that? What
No
happens
one
if
knows
one of the
why.
skulls goes to your family while you're not there to save them or protect them? Have you thought about
No.
those consequences?
Nobody knows.
Really? I highly doubt that, especially if you think that some of them aren't just normal people. Then I can guarantee you they know who you are.
People don't like winners, Johnny. At least not people who always win.
Well, they got to get better competition.
And if they can't, well, first off, if they can do that, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if you end up walking home to your parents covered in bruises with a broken arm? I know you don't think it can happen, but you're not the only person as strong as you are.
I don't know.
The Skulls want you. They want you back in the ring.
They just said go to the ring. They didn't say anything about fighting.
Technically, I didn't tell you guys that, but that's okay.
Okay, that's fair. Sorry.
Oh, well well, yeah.
I wouldn't have told Johnny that.
So, I don't know. I don't know what they want, but I don't like them fucking around my diner.
I think maybe just having a simple conversation could be potentially more beneficial. Like, you know, hey, I'm that guy, so let's not do this, instead of just immediately beating everybody up all the time.
I'm sorry, they started shooting at me.
Well, if you're so strong, then you could have just walked up to them and been like, yeah, so that's not working. Can we stop and talk instead? I mean, I get it. You're a growing boy. I understand there are, things happening.
You guys know I'm 17, right? Like almost 18.
Okay, well then you should really be past this. So I'm gonna give you a freebie here, being still a child, and let's just maybe move forward with a new understanding of how to be an adult. If I can stop, justifiably murdering people, then I'm sure you can stop fighting and doing those things.
Time will tell.
It's
Or
literally
you could tell
been
us right
months
now.
that I have not done anything that has been even remotely, anger inducing to you. So let's be real honest here. Okay? Real honest. Since my apology, I have not yet killed anybody. Okay? But you, how many people have you almost killed because of your strength?
None.
Who?
You sure about that?
Yep.
Who?
No one.
No one? I thought you just said one.
No. Unlike you guys, I learned how to control my strength.
Unlike us guys, what are you talking about?
I'm just saying, I have mastered my craft.
Yeah, so maybe not comparing it to us, because we don't have the same craft.
That's the kind of confidence that. It's the kind of confidence that gets you killed, Johnny. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this because you're a kid. I'm not saying this because I think you can't make decisions for yourself. I'm saying this because I don't want you to get hurt. And I've seen it happen before.
Are you going to tell us about leprechauns again?
I mean, I don't think I need to repeat myself, but it doesn't seem like it sunk in.
I mean, the great police are there, so that's a thing.
You don't think that they're going to do something about the fact that you've been just willy-nilly displaying your powers everywhere?
I don't willy-nilly display my powers everywhere.
You just did it out there, and then you did it every... How many nights? How many times have you been to that fighting ring?
I don't have an exact number because...
That's not willy-nilly if you can't keep track. You should be able to say on one hand how many times you've done it.
Yeah, I'm a martial arts expert. So, that is the only time I've really done anything gregarious in front of anyone. So, and, they were there and they didn't do anything. So, I think what they mean is like someone like going crazy. Like that one, who is that guy with the vines? Spider Vine Man.
Yeah, sure. You know, there is a process.
Henry.
Usually people don't go to the extreme right away, and you're going down the path. That's what I'm saying. This is a path that you are walking, and the longer that you're on it, the further you get away from where you started. Do you understand what that means? It's going to be
not
harder
like-
for you to stop. It's no different than a drug addiction. Like, this is the same thing. You feel powerful, so you're going to continue to do things that make you feel powerful. You know what? I'm not your therapist. Why am I even doing this right now? I have other problems in my life. If you want to get yourself killed, I shouldn't care. And I do, but I shouldn't. Gio,
I know. Listen, we can't tell you what to do. We're not your parents.
I was gonna say you.
thank God I am not his mother. He would never ever leave the house, like ever.
All right, can we find out where this earthquake is?
We're here.
Yay!
So did that conversation happen in the car, or was that still happening out in front of the R&R diner?
No, that was in the car while
In
we
the
were
car.
driving.
Okay. So that conversation happened between the blue collar district and the R&R diner going into Cross End. The journey from blue collar to the blue collar district to Cross End actually takes you through the industrial zone. So the landscape goes from an interesting sort of tenement housing and apartments and some suburbs, places that you were all incredibly familiar with, to what is essentially a truly commercial industrial zone where there was lots of pollution, lots of factories, incredibly busy, always lit up daytime or night, and feels oppressive and toxic in some ways. But you make your way through that, and as you get to the other side of it, you begin to come into Cross End itself. And Cross End is very different. It starts out again as what looked to be incredibly rundown apartment buildings, but eventually those give way to what look like poorly maintained slum buildings, places people would squat or find as a sort of a hiding location. And then eventually those buildings even kind of begin to crumble, and the buildings around, until half of the structures around you are just completely destroyed. Foundation, single wall standing, all that's left from a building, empty, lots with tumbleweeds and lots of overgrowth. The population here almost feels feral in comparison. And so as you arrive into Cross End, where are you heading specifically?
To wherever the epicenter of the earthquake was.
The epicenter of the earthquake was towards the edge of town, very, very, very close to what is considered the boundaries of the city. And so when you arrive there, you get to this sort of, you follow this street, and you come up towards the end, and there is this intersection of sorts. And on one corner of this intersection is a crumbled, a completely crumbled down, building. There's just debris and rocks and everything everywhere. On another corner, there is a church. And across the street, it almost feels like there are two small structures that somehow vaguely resemble guardhouses. Although you can't explain why those structures reminds you of that. And then just past that, the street sort of ends, and there is a rolling field that kind of just plays out beyond. And the epicenter of that is just beyond that in the field.
So I imagine we all just kind of get out of the car. Gio just kind of looks around. I don't know what I'm looking for.
Well, that's okay.
I mean, where was the center?
Around here? I mean, I don't think these things are that precise. It's close to the border, I think.
Actually, you would have, if you had paid attention enough or taken the information correctly from the site, you would have the exact, GPS location
Okay, sure.
of that, right? So yeah,
Where would that be in all of these things? Is it on the fields?
about 100 feet out into the field, essentially.
Okay. Start walking in that direction until I got my phone out and I'm tracking like on GPS like exactly what my coordinates are on Sage Maps. And once I'm gonna try and get directly over that point, basically.
Okay.
Down.
So the moment that you step into the intersection, you feel this sort of overwhelming presence. There's a strong desire to go no further. You can't quite explain it, but there's a strong desire for you to not journey any farther in the direction outside of the city. And for Geo, recognizing what he does about the nature of the city and the world itself, this would be not unusual to get some sort of an impression like this. However, this is the first time that it was so overwhelmingly strong that you felt the need to pause for a second and kind of listen to it. But as you continue moving forward, once you decide that you're gonna test the bounds of this and the limits, you get to essentially those two structures, and it overwhelms you again. No further. No further.
Is that everyone?
No, it's just Geo. Because are you following along with Geo?
I would be following Geo, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for both of you, you would begin to have this irrational fear that stepping beyond the city is a bad idea. Stepping beyond the bounds of this sort of intersection is a bad idea. But Geo just sort of going along kind of emboldens you to fight through that irrational fear.
Okay. So is it like this is like the city limits? Like beyond this point is like nothing? Like
No, there's a rolling field, right? There's a rolling field, and then way beyond that, you see what essentially is a tree line for some sort of forest. And then when you look beyond that, you see that it eventually kind of leads into a gentle rolling set of hills that eventually lead into a mountain, a mountain range of kind. So it's clearly visible what's going on beyond, like, land wise. This is just the farthest limit in the city, in this particular direction, and Cross End just sort of butts up against all of that.
Do you guys know what that building is?
I don't think so.
which one?
Those tower things.
I don't know.
Could we sage it and find out what was there?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know what's. Yeah,
It's-
pull out my phone and sage it.
Is there a lot of people around too?
No, in fact, it's mostly deserted. Although if you do look around, there are a couple of people paying attention to you, coming from near the church, and they seem to be attributed, or behaving oddly. One of them just sort of, when he walks, has a sort of a head swaying gait.
Jar Jar Binks, yeah.
With his body. Reminds you sort of a bird. And another one is standing by the wall, but the way that she's standing by the wall, she's kind of holding on to it a little bit and just kind of both hands on it. Like she needs the tactile sensation of it being there. And she's kind of peering, kind of reaching her head out and peering. And the third just appears to be just a little, leaned a little forward and sort of, hands on his legs, kind of in a position almost as if he looks like he's ready to pounce, but he's not moving otherwise.
Are these guys beyond the point that we can't go, or are they back?
No, they're at the church. They're essentially behind you at this point.
Okay, so the church is behind us, and in front of us are these two guard tower looking things?
Yep.
Okay.
What does Sage Maps show?
Yeah.
Roll me an investigate. For whoever's doing it.
Okay. I'm gonna walk up to them, but I want them to do their thing.
Do we really need to roll investigate to just see what's on Sage?
Yes, because I need to know exactly how that roll is going to go, because it's about how you do your search terms. Right. So that would be the equivalent of the roll. You spending a little bit of time kind of doing your searching on Sage, to how effective your investigation is.
Okay.
Can I help him?
You sure can. I'm sure that this would be something where the both of you would be collaborating while Johnny takes a real interest in, introducing himself to all the Dizians of Crossend.
Yeah, I would help with like specific search terms so that you would get the right keywords.
I have Sage Maps open right now, so I would first try and check like the coordinates and like look for the address to see if anything shows up like on the map actually, and then I would take a picture of it and try and do like a reverse Sage image search.
And has that been introduced in Sage services? Is that an internet service?
They're cutting edge. They're cutting edge, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realize. I just wanted to make sure.
They had it before Google did.
Sage, wisdom of the future.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck?
Okay. All right. So all those explanations. So roll me the investigate. What power tags apply to this?
And the one other thing that I would want to do, and I don't know if this is the same investigate or a different thing, but I would basically want to try and see through the mist on it using my abilities of disillusioned. I don't know if that's like the same thing. It seems like two different things, but I don't know if it's worth two different rolls.
Okay. So you're trying to investigate into what you see with these towers in the mist, or are you trying to use that ability as a part of your investigation through Sage?
More like just to look at it to try and get a better understanding of what it is.
Okay. Do you want to do that first, or your Sage search first?
I guess I'll do Sage search first just to see what comes up.
Okay.
And I guess that would be tricks of the trade, hidden methods, and local rumors.
You could also use going deeper from our crew tag.
That's probably a really good idea.
And also me giving you the psychology portion of things, which is like keywords to use properly and things like that. So one from me as well.
Cool. All right, and investigate.
No whammies. Please screw up. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
Yes,
great success.
You did with 5 power.
Oh Jesus!
Aha! Take that,
Sage
Johnny.
knows all.
So let's start with the order of the description that you used to sort of establish the Sage search terms. All right, you started with looking at that Sage on looking at the area on the map and trying to discern if there's like a location or there's a location name of some kind. This corner or this intersection, there's only one landmark that sort of stands out, and that's the church. And that is the church of Santa Teresa de Avila. And I can spell that for you so that you guys have that for information later. But it is the only significant landmark here on the map. Everything else, you can see that there are structures indicated, and it's not quite clear what those structures are, even on the map itself. But you don't get any more information about the structure just from looking at the map. But so then you decide that you're going to take a picture of one of them and you submit it to Sage's cutting edge sort of image match and reverse lookup kind of a thing. What comes up is that Cross End used to be essentially a small settlement, almost like a fort. Think of it like the California missions that the Spanish established inside of California, basically up the coast from Mexico, all the way up along what's known as the King's Highway. Except in this particular case, the church was the original established location, and there was essentially a wall structure that was kind of built around it. And that these 2 points were actually they're perceived to be guard towers that have just been either rebuilt in the shape of, or they are the existing structures from before. And they're just, the names have been sort of lost to it. The church is really the significant event. Everything else about it, at least on Sage, doesn't have as much details. You do see that there is a reference to the old library in the old core, and that that Fadi has posted a couple of times on one of the sort of like conspiracy theorist board. And Fadi is the church librarian there, the church keeper there at that old church. And you see that he's referenced a couple of times, in more information about the church of the church of Santa Teresa de Avila, and the old mission / fort structure that was there. As you're kind of getting this information and you're kind of processing it through, you get some sort of it's not like a short story, but you get a little blurb from a little, a local legend that's stepping beyond the bounds of these towers or these guard posts invites madness.
Cool.
I don't know if cool, but
Probably that's fake.
I don't know. Johnny, is that fake? Your boy detective.
Yes.
Confirmed.
I don't think he's right, Gio. I don't think he's right. You should go investigate and find out.
Okay, I'm gonna investigate. I'm going to try and use my powers of disillusionment to basically try and see through the mist, see what the structure actually is, and the pure intention behind it. And in doing so, I hope to basically be able to cut through this mist, whatever it is that is holding me back from going forward.
Okay. So what power tags apply here?
Tricks of the trade, hidden methods, nature of mist, escape any confinement.
That's a very appropriate description. That's a very appropriate one now that I think about it. Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
And potentially death-defying.
Justify that one.
That depends on how dangerous this place is. I mean, based on the rumors we just heard, this place literally, like, going beyond it causes madness.
Okay. All right. I'll go with that. However, there's a couple of story tags that will come in as weaknesses.
Sure.
One is the mist, specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And the other is the church.
Okay. So
Double far ray. See me a little.
Yep. And yeah, I don't think any of my weakness tags apply. So let's go ahead and investigate. Right? Great success. You muted.
He's cursing.
Okay, so at least they're not the exact same rolls, but what the hell, man? The same. Did you technically use 7 powers? Because that gave you 2 negatives.
I had +5 and -2 is what it should be.
Okay, whatever. It's still a great success at 10. So that's 3 questions you get to ask.
Great. God. I don't know where to start. Is it possible to get beyond this? For me. Or rather, how can I get beyond this?
How can you get beyond? Okay, so In this particular case, I want you to be very careful about your wording because there's an inclination for me to play this as if it's a wish in some ways.
Mhm.
Wording, semantics are going to be incredibly important. So if you ask me, can you get beyond this? I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to rethink your question a little bit. And I think that the table should probably join in on this one to help you kind of investigate this, because it really is going to come down to a little bit of semantics here. And that's another GM way of saying, are you sure?
The way he phrased that, it makes me think, can you get beyond this? Your logos can, but your mythos can't. And
Yeah.
push, it's going to rip the two halves of your identity apart.
That is also what I'm thinking.
And if that's what you want,
I mean, they mentioned insanity, and so it sounds like, you know, maybe you both can get across, but you are like inconsolable, or you can only talk in like rhymes from forever. I don't know. It could be like something where you get driven insane and your character
Mhm.
becomes unplayable.
he's forced to sing everything as a Broadway show tune. Cato.
Yes.
Okay, so if that's legitimate, your first question, I like the take that Trent just provided on that.
Yeah.
If that's your first question, then it's a resounding yes.
Well, the question that I clarified is how do I get past it?
Oh, well, I can answer that.
You step forward.
That's exactly it. Just walk.
Cool.
You continue forward is the
Great. Second question, what will happen if I continue forward?
Okay, so that's really kind of pushing it. This is about the nature of those guard posts, not necessarily about the consequences. I'm happy to be argued with about this, but your focus was on the guard posts themselves, right?
That's true. But I mean, I think having heard that legend from Sage, that would be a concern of mine of what is it that I'm going to, is that true? Like, because legends seem super real around here.
If you're asking the question, is it true?
Mm-hmm.
If that's your second question, I can answer that easily, right? You would the screen that you would pick that vibe up easily. Do you want to know the answer?
Sure.
The answer is yes. It is a resounding yes as well.
Last question. Will going there give me the answers I'm looking for?
This is again one of those pushing the limits of it, but in this particular case, I'm going to give you again a resounding yes.
I step forward.
All right, Johnny, he's starting to move forward. You mentioned that you wanted to go talk to those interesting individuals.
Yeah, they're walking up to us, aren't they?
No, they're standing at the church, just kind of watching you guys.
Oh yeah, I'm walking up to them.
All right, and so Morrigan, what are you doing? You're going to keep the boy wonder out of trouble, or are you going to protect your friend in your, I don't know how to quite describe Gio, but I know that there's a really strong relationship between the two of you that's protective almost.
Valued associate.
This is a tough one for Morrigan because she has two people going in opposite directions. Does Morrigan feel, I mean, I know you said that it says that stopping feeling, but does she feel like there is a danger here?
That irrational fear that both you and Johnny feel, that is definitely triggering both of you in different ways about danger, right? Your defenses are probably coming up as Morrigan is an incredibly confident, strong warrior, for lack of a better way, in many ways, right? And in every way that you feel that, your senses are challenged that's actually there. For Johnny, it's more almost primal in that the threat is there and he just wants to push against it if he pushes that desire. For Geo, it's more of it's more nuanced because there's this drive that's coming from his dreams and his past, countering the circumstances of the irrational fear that there's real danger. The sense that he's getting is the same sense that he had when you took away his choice in becoming a crow. So for each of you, you're sort of facing your own little dilemma in sort of circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
And each of you are probably feeling that the need to push, although Geo's is going to be a lot stronger given how closely tied to his circumstances is.
Right. I'm gonna actually then I'd like to change the game, and I'd like to use my abilities to reshape time to move forward briefly before coming back. Because I want to see what happens to Geo.
So you want to see the one possible future that you can see based on his decision right now.
Yeah. Before I decide whether or not to stop him.
Okay. I'm going to allow this, but I think it's going to be a stop holding back.
What? Really?
Well, let me explain why I think that.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a stop holding back because one, it's the first time you've done something like this. You're affecting time as it's going forward in time. You're basically pulling a Doctor Strange from Avengers, right? You're looking at all possible futures based on his current decision path. That's part of the reason why I think it's a stop holding back.
Okay.
The other half of this is if you succeed, here's what I'm gonna actually allow to happen. I'm gonna let Geo continue moving forward. We're gonna play the scene normally, and at any point you can go reset.
I probably won't succeed. I failed all of these before.
No, you actually haven't. But
yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I rolled sixes on all of them. Yep.
I thought there were mild successes on one of them. All right. Well, if you can argue me how changing the game would work in a situation where this power is the first, the use of this power is the first time.
Well, because this is part of her shaping fate. She wants to dictate whether or not she wants this particular path to exist. So much like the scenes and events that happened at her office, she didn't like the outcome of those events, and so she rewound time instead. In this case, she wants to glimpse forward. It's almost more of a clairvoyance thing than it is a full manipulation. That's why I was thinking change the game.
Okay. I'm okay with doing that, but the glimpses that you're going to get are maybe changed by anything that Geo does. So you're only going to get potential danger. You're not going to get the ability to reset it if something goes wrong. Let's put it that way.
Okay, I'm going to leave it to the table. What do you guys want me to do?
Well, from my perspective, if you're doing it now, glimpsing forward, then all of this makes, everything Johnny's talking about makes sense. But if instead you just let them go ahead and play and then do exactly what you did in your apartment and go, hang on, and rewind, instead of glimpsing forward, you just let things play out. And then when shit starts going bad, that's when you pull everything backwards, jump backward and say, hold on, don't do this. Because one is, attempting to look forward. The other is letting things go forward, and then if you don't like what's going on, then use the power. It's a question of whether you use it now or use it later to back things up.
Yeah.
One is the same thing you did in your apartment. The other is something new.
I want to clarify something that the difference that Trent is pointing out, and this is what I love about this particular choice that you're making. Not only is it something, it's a new use of the ability, but it's a new use of how Morrigan is perceiving the situation and the type of control she's trying to exert. And I love that, because in seeing that, I can see it being used in other scenes in my head that I have ready for Morrigan to experience moving forward. So I absolutely love the idea of the choice. I hope you pick the one that stands strongest to you. But this suggestion of actually seeing in the future, pushing forward, makes it's really exciting, actually.
Yeah.
So
that's why I didn't actually do the let's just let fate do its thing and then rewind it, because I want to make a decision on it. I'm the one who decides fate. Like, that's her thing, right? Like, she wants to shape it, so she wants to see it. So that's where my stance was, which is why I brought it up in the way that I did, like as you were saying, Johnny. So anybody else have any formulated opinions here that I can go off of before I finalize my decision?
I think Trent hit the nail on the head on that one in terms of like what the like the limits of your current powers are, or like how it kind of shakes out with like what you've done before compared to what you're describing now. So I'm fine with whatever it is you choose.
I mean, yeah.
That's really great input. Thank you.
Sorry.
I mean, like, yeah, like I don't think it should be like a whole rewind time thing, because then it's always going to be like, oh, we made a bad decision, mulligan. So I think,
kind of like how you can't be affected by bullets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's logic in my head. There's things that can hurt Johnny. It's a little bit more like extreme.
Show up to the fighting ring tonight. I can't wait till you show up to the fighting ring tonight. There's definitely things that can hurt you.
If he goes, but Morgan hasn't told him.
If Morgan ever tells him, absolutely.
Unless he just goes no matter what.
That's also possible.
Might wind up getting a date with,
I don't know,
one of these people he's going to talk to.
I guess I'm just gonna roll for stop holding back. I think it's a significant, definitely not a no return.
Yeah, I think it's at the minimum.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely minimum in respects to the scale of this. So because she's already accomplished this,
yeah,
on some level, right?
Yeah.
So
okay. 11. Wow.
And you were afraid of failing.
Yeah, well, my previous ones, not so much.
Okay, so
that one is I have to mark a fade or crack on one of my themes.
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay.
Which one to mark.
So for Morrigan, this is what happens. She pauses for a second, kind of glassy-eyed, and kind of gets a vision of what's about to happen next, to which Gio gets to make his decision. What's going on, Gio?
So Gio can feel this kind of fear in the back of his head that's telling him not to move forward, but he can also tell in his mind that it's something that is being told to him. It's not necessarily truth that it is that's affecting him. It is an idea that's being pushed on him, or rather, even if he knows that there's some danger to come of it, he is ready to face that in the pursuit of knowledge. And he's holding in his mind this thought of Naomi, of his now past fiance, and he is stepping forward, clutching that thought in his mind, and there's another part of him too that is also driving him forward, this innate curiosity, this idea that there is something beyond there that is not meant to be known, that he so strongly desires to have an answer to have the truth as to why all of this has been hidden. Why is this being hidden from me? Who is it that wants this to be so concealed that they would do this? And he steps forward as if stepping through a thick fog, or as if pushing through a veil of some kind until he can approach and finally, if possible, get near and to these towers.
So you get to the towers themselves, right? You need, and they're not gigantic towers. More, they are just these structures. They feel more imposing the farther out you are from them. But as you get closer and closer, you realize that they're just structures. They're just buildings. They are just facades standing there as a representation more than an opposing force. However, you can't quite explain why that is now that you're there with them. You just, you know. And when you feel beyond, when you step up, it's fall, right? The seasons are changing. You can see the leaves on the trees, and there's more wind, and there's more weather and rain, and you know that the fog is coming back more, and but there is this additional sense of cold, a chill in the air blowing from this field in front of you. But the location that you're looking for is about 50 feet beyond the structure and essentially the edge of the city.
So it seems like just a facade. What is there behind it? What is it in front of?
Are you talking about the two towers, the two guard?
Yeah, like what is there remaining?
They're just structures. They're just little structures, like guard tower structures almost, right? Or like they're not. There's nothing behind them. The facade meaning that they are hollow.
Oh, okay, got it.
They're empty. They're these hollowed out shells of what they once were.
Do they still feel significant, or do they just feel empty?
They feel, now that you're standing next to them, that you push through all of that, they feel diminished.
I just sort of walk around, just sort of running my hand along the cold stone of one of them, and just sort of look out for a moment at the rolling hills and all the fields that sort of make up this this distant landscape. And then I just sort of find myself at the door to one of them and try to step inside.
Inside, it's just it's a small sort of 5x5 setting. There is no door. There's just a gaping hole. Okay, well, Johnny's stepping away for a second, but I'll describe what he sees, the reaction from the three that are watching you after the fact. But so as you kind of step in, it's dirty. There's refuse in there. The wind has blown in. There's like a tumbleweed or something. There's debris in there. There's paper. There's wrappings. Somebody has squatted in here, right? Somebody has lived in here for a short period of time, and you can see the representation of that, and it kind of shocks you a little bit as you kind of step over and look, and move to the other one, and it's exactly the same. Small 5x5. Somebody has actually lived in here at one point. There's trash, refuse, leaves, debris that has blown into here, but they're empty. And when you step inside, they feel as if they have no ability to affect you whatsoever. Like whatever it was facing towards the city. But now that you're on the edge of the city, now that you're in this essentially this facade, you don't feel any of that oppression.
Okay. Does it look like the earthquake hit here? Does it look like it's obviously a mess, but does it look like, are there things that are like on tables or something that should have fallen over had there been an earthquake but haven't, or anything like that?
I'm trying to think of what would be obvious. There would be signs of cracks in what looks like shifts and the structures, but there would be nothing as obvious as like there was stuff that was once on a table or once on a shelf or whatever, just debris falling over, right? But yes, there are, not necessarily obvious signs, but there are signs that things have shifted. Like maybe you see like a rock or something, a piece of debris that kind of hopped and it's kind of slid all over.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cut and say something. I'm gonna cut back to Johnny real quick, and then we're gonna come back to you, and then he'll be able to react to this afterwards. But as Gio is stepping into this structure, into these structures there, you see the three in front of you as you're slowly kind of walking over, kind of assessing them. You see them react. Two of them sort of recoil a little bit, reacting to Gio, and you, whether you put two and two together or not, that's actually kind of happening. And then the third one, the one sort of crouched and looking like ready to pounce, just kind of stands up and takes a step back, and he's looking past you, eyes wide open. And so we're going to cut back to Gio in the second structure.
Okay. It looks like someone has lived here. Does it look like it's recent at all? Are there any signs, anything that I could read? Any written word anywhere?
There's junk food wrappers. There's something from, Pandora lights, some sort of, foods, product or whatever. Maybe there's a can of like, whatever Malcolm's favorite blue drink, energy drink is in there. But other than that, no, there's nothing that stands out to you.
Okay. I step back out and I look at the city. Or first I look back at my friends who are kind of just nearby, and then at the entire cityscape.
So you've taken Johnny and Morrigan. Morgan's just paying attention to you at this point. Unusually so. Like there's an unusual intensity about the way that she's paying attention to you. She could probably describe what else she's doing, but there is an extra element of observation that you can get from her. And you see Johnny sort of walking towards the church and those other individuals, and that's when you see that two of them are backing away, sort of slinking, and the third one is kind of looking directly at you, standing up, kind of wide-eyed. And so we can cut to Morrigan. Morrigan, what's going through your head? What's going on as you watch Gio do all this? As you see all of this is happening?
She's just not. She's not really sure what the situation is, I guess. She would also be like kind of holding her amulet a bit like protectively almost. And she's just looking onward for something to change, like expectantly, I guess. Something that she's afraid to see. If something happens that would, in her mind, be dangerous, I guess, then she would have to do something about it. But that's kind of where she's at. She's just holding in a very protective type of stance, I guess.
Okay. All right, so we're going to come back to Johnny, and you're continuing to walk towards these individuals, noticing their reactions and their changes. And when you notice that the one is looking past you towards Gio essentially, but looking past you, when you take a glance back, you realize that Gio has stepped outside of the guard tower, and that's what that individual is looking at.
Oh. Okay. I was going to ask about that, but apparently... Are you okay? Talking to Gio. Okay. You can talk to me. You're not in the library or anything, Okay.
You're far. I don't want to yell.
And then he would turn around back to the person. He's like, "What? Are you okay?"
Looks away from Geo after stunned amount of seconds you speaking to him. And he looks to you, and there is shock on his face. Nobody goes out there. Nobody. And it almost sounds like a growl when he says nobody. And his words sort of like elongate a little bit with the R's. Nobody.
Why?
It's just not done. And he takes another step back.
Well, I mean, that's where. Did you feel the earthquake?
Takes another step back. Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you know what it was?
An earthquake.
Huh?
It was an earthquake, and he takes another step back, and you look at you see that he's starting to kind of twist.
Why are you leaving?
Nobody goes out there.
I'm gonna roll convince, because telling me nobody goes out there repeatedly is not getting anywhere. So I'm gonna roll student. Ultimate fighter, because I'm being stubborn with him. And indomitable. So I got 3. Does that work?
Yes. I'm trying to decide if the church comes in as a story tag here. It has very specific rules why it would be affecting any particular situation. Because, spoiler alert, guys, the church is basically a relic. Shit. Yes. So the church would definitely be affecting this. We'd be trying to protect this particular person.
Okay. 1. Is it 1?
Yes, it's a story tag. So it's a story tag. It's not a status tag of any time. It's a story tag, so it only always count as 1.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna roll convince with this then. Nope. 2 1s.
Okay, so I feel bad for you because I kind of wanted you to succeed. Wow. I mean, that's a really shitty roll. I mean, to go from the top, to the top. Anyways, so
Johnny's not a sociable person. I don't know if you guys know this. So I mean,
Yeah, his voice is a little grating.
These people start running away from him, and he's like, "Well, fuck you guys. I'll do whatever I want."
Okay, so he steps up then, or he's stepping back, and as you're trying to convince him, Barrett's not going to like this. No, Barrett, this is wrong. And he turns, and as he turns and begins to run, you notice on his back he's wearing a jacket that has a logo and emblem for the beasts.
Did he say Bear is not going to like this?
Bear is not going to like this.
Okay. Bear is not going to like this. Bear is not going to like this. Okay. And they all just run away from me?
Well, he was the last one holding out. The other two were just like making their way, to get away. And now this last one just panicked, freaked out. And when you pushed to ask him what was going on, that's when he lost control, or when he lost his desire to be there, and the fight or flight basically kicked in, and that's when he mentioned Bear, and then just took off.
Okay, so everyone runs away from me. You see Johnny just holding his arms out and like turn around and look at Geo, and he's like, "Whatever you just did just pissed them off."
So for Geo, we're gonna come back to Geo.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at your friends, that extra quality that always tells you that they're a gateway feels softer, as if it's the glow is softened as if it's through a filter of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
It
Muffled.
doesn't feel as strong, right? And so as you kind of look at the city, and as you're kind of staring back into the city proper itself, as you look beyond them, and you see this interaction between Johnny and this individual, and you take in the larger city, it looks like it's completely shrouded from a distance. It's not a fog, but it is very shrouded. It is blurry. It is out of focus. It is as if behind some sort of filter that is preventing you from seeing the details of the city.
But where I am right now, I feel none of that. I don't feel any of the weight that has kind of been obscuring other people and obscuring myself from me for all of this time. Correct?
That is correct.
Okay. You see Gio's sort of stature change slightly from a little bit of concern and curiosity to a more confident and like almost powerful stance as he, with a slight grin on his face, starts to step back towards the city and back towards his friends. And as he makes his way past that veil once again, and it just sort of hits him like a wave, the smile kind of fades a little bit and he looks shaken. But as he steps forward again, there's still some slight hint of it there that seems to linger, that is just slightly uncharacteristic of him. And he's going to walk towards the church.
I have a question.
I
How did this answer Gio's questions?
It hasn't yet.
Okay.
It hasn't. He hasn't pushed beyond the veil yet. He hasn't gone past the guard towers. He's only been there towards the guard towers.
Oh, wait. Then I would go beyond them. I thought that was kind of implied by where I was going.
You never went past the guard towers. You said that you were exploring the towers. You never went to where the yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying that, Meta. That helps a lot.
Sorry. That was I didn't pick up on the exacts of that. And yes, I would first actually go past the towers too.
So the moment that you're past the towers, everything seems quiet. And again, that chill in the wind hits you to your bone, to the depth of your bones. Right? It's just so intense. And you continue to move forward to the spot 50 feet beyond the limits of the city to where the crack is. Because you find a crack in the ground. And as you get there, the sun is starting to go down. It's becoming late afternoon. And you see a faint glow coming from the crack. And you hear something. You're not quite sure what, but you hear a scream. And for just a second, it sounds like Naomi screaming in pain.
How big is the crack?
That's about 6 feet. It's
Deep
about
or wide?
lengthwise, it's 6 feet. The width is about somewhere. It's just a couple of inches. Another spot, it's a foot. And that's when you see that it's a foot. That's when you're able to see down into it, and you see the glow, and that's where the noise is coming from. And there is a noxious sort of sulfuric smell coming from it.
I try and look down into the hole, just kneeling and trying to see past, see beneath, see if I can see her.
Sorry, my mic was muted. You don't see her. You see various shapes moving beneath the earth. The gaping hole that is the 1 foot part in this 6 foot long. It goes deep, and you can see the glow get stronger the farther down you go. And in that glow, you see shapes moving. You hear other things too, but again, just faintly. You hear her scream, but it's clearer this time the closer you get to it.
I call out into the hole. Naomi! Are you there? Naomi!
You hear your name. She's beckoning you. She's crying. Come to me, she says. I need help. I need you.
How? How can I help you?
All you hear is, come to me. I need you. In a voice of desperation. Morrigan, from a distance, you see him doing this. And he's leaning closer and closer. And at a certain point, because of the way that the grass is sort of, swaying in the cold breeze out there, for a second, he kind of dips down as if he's leaning close, and he disappears, and then it kind of gets back up, and you can hear him calling to her. And the grass obscures him again as he leans closer, trying to listen to what he's hearing, and he comes back. And you get this overwhelming sense that something is beckoning him. You can't explain it, but the skin on, the hair on the back of your neck is beginning to kind of rise as you feel that there's something really wrong here. In your observation, you also notice that there are changes to the environment around you, as if that feeling of oppression, that fear, is diminishing for just a moment, as if it's reaching out towards Gio. Gio, what are you doing?
How big is the hole?
Like I said,
Is it
6 feet
is
long,
is
wide enough
the
for
gap that leads down big enough for Gio to fit into?
You could probably try reaching down into it. Absolutely.
I reach my arm down.
Face danger. There are going to be a couple things that don't necessarily work as you expect them here, because you are technically outside the limits of the city. So,
yep, that's fair. Can I get some hidden methods, regard for mortality, death defying, and escape any confinement?
how does escape any confinement work here?
I mean, I guess that depends on the danger. If the danger is that I am about to be dragged into a hole from which there is no escape, then that applies, I would say. However, I don't know that that's necessarily No, that's not. He's not trying to get dragged down. He's hoping to pull her back up. Not that he really understands or expects that to work, but
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So there is a couple of story tags that might apply here, depending upon ultimately what Gio's intent is to try to reach in and pull her out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then that means that there's only one story tag that's going to apply here, and that is a story tag of I describe it as a lack of the mist. Because the mist protects you as much as it protects everybody else.
Okay.
So, roll it.
That's a mild success.
Okay. So there's a bit of a complication here. Doesn't quite fit into my vision of what was going to happen, but that totally works. We'll figure it out. All right. For Gio, what happens is he reaches down and can feel something, but it's slippery and it slips out of his hands. But when you touch it, whatever it is, you hear words coming from Naomi. Yes, love, come closer. Yes, I'm right. Come closer. And so you reach farther in. For Morrigan, you see him beginning to slip into the hole as if being pulled. And then he disappears from your vision as the grass sort of sways again in the wind.
So what's Johnny doing this whole time?
I don't know. What is Johnny doing this whole time? Is he paying attention to Gio or
I mean,
what?
he turned around and started walking back towards everyone. I'm sure, like, do we have time to react to anything?
Morgan is the only one who's kind of right there. I mean, you could walk up and see what's going on, but Gio is 50 feet outside of the city limits at this point. He's experiencing what he's experiencing. So how attentive is Johnny going to be in that situation? Are you going to walk right up and go, hey, what's going on?
Well, I mean, it depends on what Morgan's doing, and then like Johnny's walking up and he sees Gio walking towards a hole, I imagine, because those people ran away from him. So the only thing that's going on is what with Gio going past this boundary and walking past it, and acting weird, sort of. So
Speedy check Zoom chat.
I'm waiting.
I mean, it's really. I mean, it's.
I'm waiting for what the Zoom chat thing is.
She DM'd me.
Yeah, I DM'd. I did secret stuff like Trendane does.
Good.
Yes, because Trendane is awesome.
Secrets from everybody.
Only for the MC.
Ah, bitches.
Trent and I have a special sort of perverse pleasure in watching, people get, uncomfortable with the ideas that we share.
I might show discomfort, but I enjoy every moment of it.
I would even call it a fetish. It's almost a fetish.
Yeah.
Anyways, Johnny can make his move up if he likes. I just need to.
So Morgan, seeing that Gio has done this in her clairvoyance, I guess, is moving towards where he was before he stepped over this place, this boundary. Yeah. So that's what she's going to be doing, is moving forward to see if she can see him again.
So as you step forward, you can definitely see him, and as you can see that he's being pulled into the hole, like something is slowly sort of just pulling him, kind of, drawing him in. You can see that the mist is reaching out for him, in some sort of intrinsic way. Like it's for the first time you're seeing a force of the city kind of reaching out for him, and you can see something else sort of pulling him in.
Okay.
To this. And for Gio, and I'll explain what Johnny sees as well in just a second. For Geo, you don't feel like you're being pulled in. You're not being drawn. You feel like you're reaching in. The motivation of what you're doing is you're reaching in. And so, instead of applying a tier status of some kind, there is a story tag that's going to be applied here that's going to affect anything that happens moving forward, rolling wise. It is going to be compelled. You are feeling compelled to continue this activity to reach for Naomi. So that'll last through the scene or however long, but that's just really what's going on there. And for Johnny, what Johnny is seeing is exactly what Morrigan is seeing, except that he didn't see until the moment. He didn't really see until just before Gio was kind of reaching in. He didn't hear that Gio was yelling, and it took him time to kind of walk up and catch all of that, right? So you just see him sort of being looking like he's being pulled into the mix, like being pulled in there.
Okay. So something's pulling on him. Johnny would run head on to Gio to try to grab him, even though it's a far distance. Like he's gonna try.
Okay.
I don't know if there is a roll. I think he's too far out to be changed the game.
This is probably take a risk or face danger, because you don't the reason that would be face danger is because you don't know the circumstance that's going on with Gio. It's take a risk, because you don't completely understand the bounds of what's going on outside there. I could see it playing either or. Really is up to how you guys.
What do you guys think? Face danger or take a risk? I can argue either one.
I think it's just take a risk. Take a risk to get there in time.
Yeah. So I would say inhuman strength, impressive, and indomitable would make sense for these ones. I'll do the 3, and roll that if that's fine. Is there anything going against me?
So if you're stepping out of the bounds of the city, then the lack of the mist story tag is going to affect you.
Okay, what's that? -1?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a story tag, so yeah.
Okay, hold on. There we go. Let me roll it. Catch me rolling. That's marked. Okay, good. Take a risk. 10. Great success.
You're able to get to him in time, and you start pulling back on him, and like pulling back, and have him sort of held into place. Gio, for the first time, now you feel the struggle. Something is drawing you in, and this compelling feeling, motivating you, like to continue moving forward, is sort of parallel to this other physical feeling where you feel like you're being pulled in. And for the first time, Johnny, you hear growling coming from the crack. You've got a hold of him, but you realize that whatever it has him is kind of trying to draw him in.
So he's like behind him, and like he's not like just like pulling on him and like his arms fall out. Like he's like next to him, I imagine, and he's like holding his arm and like him and like holstering his body and like bracing it so he's not like breaking limbs or anything like that. And he's like, Morrigan! And he's like pulling on him, and he's like, ah! Like freaking out a little bit.
So with Johnny's struggle, Morrigan, you notice something else, and Johnny will be more aware of this, but not necessarily understand the implication of it because it's happening right under him. The ground under Johnny is starting to crack, and little pieces are starting to fall off at the crack itself as the hole gets bigger.
She keeps watching. You guys have to remember who Morrigan is. Don't forget. She's been real nice the last few episodes, but don't forget who she is.
This is brutal. Oh my god.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. So, Gio, you the compilation, compilation. I keep saying compilation. That's not the right word. The compelling that's going on. You hear Naomi's voice, and you hear her growl a little bit, and she sounds angry as she's pulling you in. She's trying to pull you in. And Johnny, you're beginning to notice that the ground under you is beginning to crumble. And for the first time, you see in the hole movement under you.
What has a hold of Geo?
You can't quite see that yet because his hand is really, sort of deep into this hole itself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and is Geo in a trance?
You can't really see his face as he's kind of being dragged down, but it doesn't seem like he's paying attention to you at all. If anything, he's almost struggling against you. You're grabbing at his legs, and he's kind of kicking, not necessarily like he's trying to get away from whatever's pulling him in, but more like he's trying to get away from you. But your strength would be enough that his kicking isn't doing anything.
Yeah. Okay. So, whatever is like holding him, I want to. So, like when someone's pulling, like if you have long hair and someone's pulling your hair and you grab your hair, you grab your hair to prevent like.
He has no idea. He has no hair on that head of his at all.
No, okay. So this is more for the audience, okay, everyone? Jesus.
Is it like you're pulling your beard and be like you just go like, Urgh.
Well, no, like so when I had long hair, like if someone tried to pull my hair, I'd grab onto where they're pulling, so they would just pull their hair and not the follicles. I kind of want to do something like that, where whatever's grabbing Geo, I want to grab that and pull on that and pull it out with also moving Geo, because this thing's pulling and I don't want to hurt Geo. So the best thing to do is get the thing out of the ground.
Rip the growling creature that you can't see out of the ground. Great idea.
Yeah, and then I could see it, and then maybe I can like try to punch it because Morrigan's not helping.
Morrigan
because
appears
Johnny's
to be in a
answer to
trance.
everything is to punch it.
It is, and I'll be on all of the cereal boxes. Just you wait. Sky High joke, if you guys didn't catch that one.
Nope.
Love Sky High. It's Kurt Russell. Amazing movie.
I thought it was milk curtains.
No, that's for missing children.
Oh, that's what Johnny is. A missing child, because he's going to get sucked into the world by this growling creature and disappear from existence.
So I think what I want to do change the game. I think this is a perfect change the game, or face danger.
I was actually going to say take a risk or change the game, so either or is good with me.
I think let's do face danger, because I imagine that when Johnny starts pulling this thing out, they're gonna all like it's gonna start going after him, because he's preventing its ultimate goal, whatever it is, having Geo. So I want to do invulnerability, impressive, inhuman strength, indomitable, ultimate fighter, beat them at everything. I'm seeing if there's and I think that's good. And I still have the -1 on me for the lack of mist.
So what about your weakness tag, face the nemesis?
I believe this also applies. I was not on weakness tags yet, but I'll mark it. Because I was going in my head, though, hungry doesn't apply, and then the other ones that do not apply, but face the nemesis does probably apply.
Yeah, you did load up on Pete's Dragons. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it hasn't been that long since that he's eaten, but it's getting to about that point. Especially, I imagine after this move, because he's burning up a lot of energy for this. So let me roll face of danger, which actually, hold on. I believe. I gotta check something real quick. Come on, cards. Flip. Okay. Yeah. Let's do it. Okay. Great success.
All right. You asked for it.
I did.
So you reach it. You've got one hand on Geo, right? And you sort of reach into the hole, trying to grab whatever's got him. And you start to pull both of them at the same time. And as you're pulling back, you realize that whatever's got Geo, its hand is made of stone. And it is this gigantic sort of like fist wrapped around Geo's arm, pulling him in. And Geo, for the first time, it doesn't feel like soft flesh touching you. There's something else. It's harder. It's cold. It's rough. It's coarse. As you can feel the grip kind of shift on you, and the illusion sort of breaks for a second. But Johnny, you begin to pull this out, and the thing that comes with Geo, and the arm is getting pulled. And Morgan, you see this as the ground is beginning to crumble even more as the arm begins to come out, and you see this gigantic sort of arm, this hand, like fist on Geo's arm, and the arm is just kind of extending out, and there is growling. But Johnny is clearly just bringing this thing out of the ground at this point. I love how clinical
Yes,
you're being about
and?
this. I absolutely love it. And so, Johnny, you see a second hand beginning to reach out from the hole now, and you can see glowing eyes, but that's all you can see is another hand and some glowing eyes.
Okay. I don't know. Is there something else? Geo's not knocked out of it yet.
No, but I imagine he's panicking now.
Yeah. Am I still feeling compelled? Or is
No.
Okay, that's what I thought. Ah. Can't scream in a library.
I'm like, Geo, come on, have some enthusiasm because there's a giant statue. You're like, it's got me. Geo's turned into a B actor.
No, he's basically become Stephen Wright from the 80s. Anybody remember that comedian?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What the
Deadpan?
hell's going on? What is this? Ah!
You've got to get out of here, Gil. Go on, get to the
Go.
chopper.
Go, little one.
I don't know.
Geo, you now that the illusion is broken, you can see down into this thing, right? And you see that there are multiple things under here. Kind of, there's a sort of a siren song, sort of a feeling that you're getting from it, but they're trying to pull you in. And for the first time, you get a clear intent of what's going on. They are reaching for you for somebody. They want to draw you in. Somebody is waiting for you.
Is it her?
You can't tell. You can't tell.
I mean, Johnny's dragging me. I'm being dragged from the other end. I'm just kind of shaking. I really can't do much in this situation. We're playing tug of war, and I'm the rope.
Johnny, are you continuing to pull?
Well, as I see, it's a stone statue of some sort. I want to punch whatever is holding Geo off. Like, I want to punch it so hard it shatters, and then I can run away with Geo.
Okay. Punch it.
All right. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to do a hit it with all I got.
Oh, yeah. Because it's reaching for you, but it's not... I mean, it's not grabbed onto you yet. It's going for you, so...
Yeah. This is also facing Nemesis again. Calling attention to that. Let's mark that. Yeah, same roll. Same rolls, pretty much.
Exactly.
Oh, here we go. Here I go again on my own.
Please no.
Oh. Dynamite success.
Oh my god.
Wouldn't it have some kind of immunities? I don't know. Whatever.
Well, he hasn't hit the thing yet. So let's see what happens when he hits the thing.
Oh, okay.
So, Johnny,
Mm-hmm.
you hit him with all you got. So that means that you get tier equals power, which is tier 4. What kind of a hit are you hitting on him? Is it what are you expecting this damage to look like? What are you expecting the status to look like?
I'm expecting like this fucking like when he punches like fucking like this shatters off the arm that's holding him. Like the arm would still be like gripped onto Geo, but he's like beyond like the forearm area. Like he punched that and is shattered it off, and then like is trying to get and like holding Geo, running past towards the gate, and getting him the fuck out of there.
So as you kind of punch in and you do this, that the fist or the hand that's coming out to reaching for you, you hit it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you hit it, and there you see cracks begin to kind of like appear and sort of, you know, dance in the palm of this thing, right? And you see that the cracks kind of extend into the fingers a little bit, but it's still reaching for you as you only do essentially one status on this thing instead of 4.
Okay.
And it is continuing to sort of reach for you as Geo is feeling the pull being, you know, to be pulled down farther, and it reaches for it and grabs you. So face danger.
There was another hand grabbing for me.
So there was a hand grabbing for you, and there's the hand that had on Geo. It's coming from the same thing, right?
Okay,
And you hit the hand that was coming at you.
No, I was going for the hand that was holding Geo.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I misunderstood.
Like so the one
to break it
so
off
the-
so they can just haul ass.
So the
Yeah.
grip, okay. So the grip on that thing, the cracks begin to kind of coalesce on the wrist
Mhm.
or wherever you kind of hit on it, and you see it kind of goes up, and the grip sort of loosens a little bit. And I'm going to let Gio face danger here to see if he can get out of this. Sorry, I misunderstood the target. I thought you were going for the hand that was reaching out for you.
All right, let's call this. What do I even have here? Death-defying, escape confinement. Maybe hidden methods.
Okay. Remember that the lack of the mist is in effect.
Yep. And tricks of the trade, would that apply?
Sell it to me.
Given that the trade is given the trade involves sleight of hand and kind of getting out of tight situations.
Yes. Okay. I'm good with it.
I'm gonna throw a weakness tag on myself here with locked heart, just because of the situation that we're in that I am not in a emotionally stable state.
Okay.
And I have that 1 minus from story and face danger. Great success. Whew.
Okay. So you were able to kind of wrestle your arm out, and you're beginning to slip back, and Johnny is starting to kind of grab and pull you, but the ground begins to crumble under you as the both of you are beginning to slip into the ground. The earth is beginning to sort of shift, and kind of your weight is beginning to lose its like you're losing the sense of feeling solid as you both are beginning to slip as the rocks and sand begin to crumble right under you, and you hear a guttural yes coming from the crack.
I want to throw Geo to the gate.
Okay, you can try that.
That will be a change to the game. My ultimate goal is to save Geo. This is not face nemesis because I'm not. This is
Are you sure it's a change the game here?
Is it take a risk?
Yeah, I mean, so it seems more like that because you're almost sacrificing yourself in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
There's also an element of you actually getting out of this as well if you take a risk and you succeed, right? But if you fail, you may still succeed sending him away, but you wouldn't necessarily.
I mean, my intention is I'm throwing Geo, right? I don't have any intention because like logically in my head, even though like I have super strength and all that kind of stuff, like what I'm doing is I'm launching Geo out of there because whatever is down there, I could probably fight for a while, or something along that lines, right? Even though it's like big and like grabbing at me, Geo, on the other hand, is more squishy. So he wants to get him out of there, and he would use his like momentum to pushing to get Geo to the gate and away from this thing, as Johnny would project himself down into the hole.
Okay. All right. If you want to roll this as change the game,
I mean, we could do take a risk because that works. Because I think take a risk works because like this is kind of like really quick in the moment, and I think it also Geo could, if I fail, I mean Geo could get really hurt.
Right. The thinking was that this really isn't a situation where you're going to want to spend juice and add story tag. You're going to want sort of a clear success or failure here.
Yeah. So I'm going to do impressive, invulnerability, inhuman strength. I don't think ultimate fighter applies. I'm not fighting anything. Indomitable. Beat them at everything and to go all the way. I also want to use electronic repair because I'm trying to be to mitigate the damage Geo may take.
So basically trying to finesse the situation.
Yeah. And that's my goal with this one, but it's also like he's like shooting off of me.
Okay.
And then I have the mist, and then do I have another minus because falling into the hole?
There is
soil liquefaction. You don't have a stable platform.
Yeah.
That's a great description for the story tag I was about to just to throw on that.
Yeah.
So yes, there would be a second story tag that would affect you negatively.
Okay. Here we go. 13.
Damn it!
The boy can't fail.
He did earlier.
Yeah,
I'm
not having a social interaction with Geo out of here. This is what this character is for.
All right.
But
so
here's the thing: I'm falling into the hole, Johnny. So
not with a great success. Not with that. Not taking a risk of great success. I still have some things I can do here. I have to say that when you score. Well, yeah. Anyways, so narrate for us exactly what happens when you throw Geo. What does it look? I mean, is it like a lob? Are you, is it like a softball sort of overhand pitch? What's going on here?
So when Geo escapes and like we're kind of like, I imagine what happens is that we start running, right? Like to kind of get him out there, and Johnny's like right behind him. And I imagine Johnny starts falling first, and he realizes what's going on and is at that vantage point because he can see that the ground's going to catch up to Geo. And as he's falling, he's like, "Get out of here!" And he, like, from the bottom of his feet, like, pushes him up and launches him further to get him out of the reach of and like towards the gate. And to get to safety, while Johnny projects him, like uses like his like momentum to push him forward, and then push Geo forward, and then Johnny would like have to go backwards, and then kind of fall into the hole as Geo gets. I imagine, since I'm trying to aim for the gate and I got a great success, he is at the gate or gets out of there by Morrigan.
Okay, so Geo comes flying through the air and sort of tumbling a little bit, but Johnny throws you in such a way that when you tumble, you take a little bit of scrapes, but you don't take any status effects at all because he finessed this in such a way. Johnny's been practicing, it seems like. And Johnny, you're beginning to kind of slip back a little bit, but you're able to kind of sort of set yourself up, and you start to move forward, and that's when you feel two hands grab your feet and pull you back. You're starting to get pulled in. Base danger.
Okay. So I imagine this is gonna be. I'm gonna mark face nemesis, which that's upgraded now.
And so for what Morrigan and Geo now see as Geo picks himself up, and what Morrigan sees is that there are more hands begin to reach out for Johnny as these hands have grabbed onto him, and the rest of them are just kind of like these arms are just kind of coming out and just kind of pulling him back in.
So I'm gonna do inhuman strength and vulnerability only. Let me turn everything off because
how does invulnerability apply in this situation?
He's not
this is affecting your momentum or your ability to escape, not necessarily you taking damage.
I don't know if this thing's trying to crush me. Is it trying to crush me? Okay.
No, they're pulling you in.
Okay, they're pulling me in. Since inhuman strength, I think applies. Let's see.
It definitely applies.
Parry. And I think that's the only two that I'm going to affect because he is still falling back. So I'm currently, since I'm falling, that's a story tag. And I think that lack of mist is also a story tag minus. And
that's
then
correct.
I imagine being grappled would be another minus.
Yeah. I think this is the first time we're going to run into a negative versus a wash in respect to weaknesses and story tags.
Yes. Hopefully, maybe I'll get dynamite. I won't. So I'm going to face danger. I'm at a -2 currently. A 9. A mild success. I rolled a 6 and a 5. I don't like. So I'm facing danger. What's that mean? Like, am I not being dragged in, or
you essentially? So describe to me how you would escape their grip, right? Because they've essentially what they've done is they've grabbed onto you. One thing has grabbed onto you and is starting to pull you in by your ankles. They aren't pulling you in a way that's crushing you so much as they are just trying to prevent you from escaping.
I mean, I think in my head, like this thing's super strong as well, right? I think right now, like what Johnny would have done is like he's in a tug of war with this thing because he didn't get a great success, he got a mild success. So I think the best he's done, he's like holding on to the side of the ground that hasn't fallen, and he's like at a tug of war with this thing.
So that's just temporary story tag of immobile. Then, like you've got yourself in a position, but not like they're pulling you any farther in.
Yeah, it's like a standstill currently. So
stalemate.
Stalemate, yeah. Let's a story tag of stalemate. I mean, we can add that into there. So yeah.
Okay. Morrigan. Geo. Is Morrigan still being passive?
She muted herself.
I'm silly. Morrigan is going to let Johnny do his thing. And she kind of looks down at Geo and, touches her amulet again and watches as Johnny continues to struggle.
Geo picks himself up off the ground and he's just kind of stunned, looking on at the scene in front of him and like too scared to move forward, but also too scared to leave.
The voices are calling you again, Geo. Her voice is there.
Mm.
And you see Johnny struggling. You see him actually struggling with what's going on. Like you see the circumstances of it. And yet the counter is that you hear her voice still.
There's still this fear that's kind of holding him back and something that's kind of drawing him forward, but it's hard to tell which one is winning. He's like slowly taking a step forward and then just like stopping and reassessing himself and looking back at Morrigan and stopping.
Can Morrigan hear that he hears this or not? No, I can't. Okay.
It is a siren call specifically for Geo only. Okay, Johnny. The struggling is continuing as more of them begin to reach out for you. Grabbing onto your arms is another one, and for the first time you begin to see this thing kind of emerging from the hole as it begins to crumble more around you, and it is essentially what looks to be some sort of giant rock creature, and its eyes glow red.
So Johnny would look at his friends, knowing that Morrigan's not doing anything and he doesn't know why. And Geo, he's not a fighter. So he would look at them and he's like, bye. And then he would charge into the hole, pushing it back.
So you're hitting him with all you got?
Yes.
I love this.
He's not trying to get away. He's really kind of getting into his mystery. Who am I meant to fight? And pushing that boundary. So he's going to do impressive, invulnerability, ultimate fighter, indomitable, no parrying. Beat them at everything. Face a nemesis is still going on. Since this is the nemesis he sees in front of him. And to go all the way, he's not falling anymore. Is grappling still going on, or is that kind of, since he's going with it, gone?
Since you're going with it, no, you're not facing an opposing force. You're giving into that force.
Yeah.
You're not facing the liquefaction of the sand or whatever, the ground under you. Only the mist. Only the lack of the mist is to apply in this particular case.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna mark weaken when hungry as well, because he's probably burnt up a lot of energy in this fight alone. So, and it's been a few minutes since he's eaten. And so yeah, okay. So I got 4 power tags with this one. I'm gonna mark dynamite. Here we go. His goal with this hit is to bring him and the thing into the hole as he's pushing it back.
Okay, but the way you describe this means that you turn and you nail this thing. And Morrigan and Geo, what you guys see is you just see this determined look on Johnny's face as he just turns around and does one of his punches, and then he vanishes into the hole.
And what he would yell, his move at this moment in time, would be what's a good sailor term I could use? And you see him and he winds up, and it's a different move because the other one's he's kind of wound up a little bit, but this one seems really strong and all that kind of stuff. And he's and even though something's holding him, he places his footing really, really well, and he's keel breaker, and as he punches, he launches himself into and pushing this thing back.
For Morgan and Geo, you hear this, and he goes in, and he disappears down into this. For Johnny, this is what happens next. You punch this thing and begin to tumble and fall. And it is Gandalf versus the Balrog kind of a situation as you begin to kind of tumble and fall as you see that there are other ones that are jumping off, leaping after you. Just trying to grab for you and, kind of swinging off of pieces of rock and kind of throwing themselves and the momentum as you're beginning to punch. But it's starting to get brighter and brighter and brighter and hotter and hotter and hotter as you see that there's way far below you molten lava. And we're going to cut back to Geo and Murray. As you see him go down, I imagine that the two of you kind of rush up and try to see to the edge of the sides. And then just in the distance, you see figures kind of moving. But you also see the red glow. And the siren song is calling really loud, Geo. It's just trying to draw you in.
I want to do something really evil right now.
Gio's kind of just like, he's almost muttering to himself at this point, and the thoughts that are going through his mind are just like, that's her, I can hear her voice, and also, no, that's not her, it's all a lie. But also, Johnny just went into the abyss, I should help him. And that's the thing that's convincing him, that's the thing that's like distracting him and telling him to ignore all of his doubts, is like, no, I'm not going for her right now, I'm going for him, I'm going to help my friend. And so it's okay for me to go closer and closer and closer. And I'm stepping up, and I run forward, and I look down into this abyss, and I am getting ready to crawl in, if not leap at this point.
I love how you're justifying your actions by saving Johnny.
Yeah. That's just what's going through his mind right now, because at some point he realized that what was grabbing onto him was not Naomi, right? He knows logically that this is not what's meant to be happening. So the only way that he can convince himself that it is okay, that it's not just, he's not going for Naomi though. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not going for her. I'm going for Johnny. I'm gonna save him. It's gonna be fine. And if I see her, I won't see her. But if I see her, then so be it. But I gotta save Johnny.
And what does Gio do with that feeling?
So I rush forward, and I see this gaping hole, and I don't know the right way to enter this, but I guess I start climbing.
Geronimo!
I'm not Geronimoing down, but I'll start lowering myself in.
Take a risk.
Let's call this death-defying. Regard for mortality. And that's a. Does Nature of the Mist apply here?
Yes.
Okay. How about hidden methods?
Nature of the Mist. Wait, Nature of the Mist or the lack of the mist?
Nature of the Mist.
No, the mist does not. No, it does not.
Okay, hidden methods.
No.
Okay.
It's very obvious what's going on here.
Fair. Yeah. And let's go ahead and face danger. Great success.
So you begin to crawl down, and you find that you have perches which you're able to kind of grab onto and kind of slink your way in. And as you continue moving forward, there's a certain point where you realize you can't go that much farther without swinging under. And that's when you get a real sense of what's going on. There is this subterranean hole, for lack of a better way to describe it, but it's like this sort of circular sort of hole, and you can see that there are perches and things, and way far below, as you see him tumbling, is John with these creatures, these rock creatures. And the siren song, the voice that you hear is so compelling and strong, you're going to need to face danger again.
Great. So what's like the landscape here? Like, how is it that I am descending exactly? Like, is it?
Imagine if you're rock climbing and you've got like your hands on different perches.
Okay.
And you're kind of able to do this, and because of your great success, you're just kind of you're navigating your way almost instinctually.
Mm-hmm. There's
something about that gives you a sense of Naomi, and you have a flash of how she was. Whenever she was around a big rock, she would climb it. She would just, kind of dance along as if it was nothing. And you just have this memory of that. And that memory sort of plays into your instinctual just desire to how on and what to do, right? So you just kind of, climb your way down.
All right. And so I'm going to call this regard for mortality, death defying, and tricks of the trade, probably, because it's sort of acrobatics. It's a part of it still.
Okay.
And I'm throwing locked heart as a weakness, because I cannot help but think about Naomi, which is kind of, it's driving me forward, but it's also in a certain way distracting, and drawing me towards danger more than anything else.
And the lack of the mist is story tag is also still applying as well.
That's a miss.
Yeah.
Straight up failure. Finally.
The voice inside of your head grows stronger again. Come to me, Gio. It's okay. Let go. I'll catch you. Come to me. Come to me, Gio.
I feel this compelling voice. I can hear it just in my soul, and I have these two like holds that I'm grabbing onto, and I first let go of one of them and just like am leaning off, almost like Star, and just kind of like looking down below me at this river of lava, and I can feel this warmth coming off of it that almost feels familiar, and I just push off and let go and let myself fall.
So you begin to tumble as you're falling. Johnny's still going way far down. The lava, the base of this. It's a long sort of. Anytime, any word that comes to mind, I know is going to trigger trend. So I'm just going to say long, deep shaft. All right, I'm just saying it. It's a long, deep shaft, and it's really dark, except for the glow at the bottom. Shut up, Trend. Shut up.
That glow is supposed to be there, Johnny.
So the tumbling and the falling and everything else as you're kind of falling this way. Morgan, before you actually take action, though, I'm just saying, I just want you to you would look down and you would see Gio make this decision as he begins to fall.
Oh, definitely. She's watching him make this decision.
But here's the interesting thing. You're able to kind of focus in on him and you see him beginning to tumble and fall. And then it's something out of nowhere jumps across, grabs him out of the air, and he disappears towards the other side, wherever this thing was grabbing him. And so for Gio, it's like the Hulk capturing Iron Man, falling out of the air in the original Avengers film, right? He just kind of, there's this rock thing that just kind of jumps across and grabs, and of course is like, stopping himself with the momentum. And as you're just kind of taking this all in, you hear a voice inside your head that says, "It's okay. I've got you." And the thing begins to crawl down. And Gio has disappeared. Johnny is still battling Balrog style with this rock thing, making his attempts and his attacks. Does Johnny want to try to stop anything before we give the scene over to Morgan completely?
I mean, the thing is that Johnny thinks he sacrificed himself to save his friends, due to the fact that like he punched this thing, and all these things are chasing him. So he's like, basically, he's not just falling. He jumped off this one and like punched into another one, and he's like, as he's falling, he's going. So you would literally hear like cracks of thunder under the ground currently as Johnny is like slowly progressing down, but he's like just going and hitting all these stone creatures and just like trying to shatter and destroy them, unless they all start grappling him and he starts falling to his death.
So just given how cool that description was, you're just in almost an avatar mode at this point. You're able to do these things and just kind of you're still continuing to fall to what you expect is eventually going to be. I don't know if you would expect your death because you believe that you're invulnerable. You've tested the limits. You haven't tested lava yet.
No, I haven't. And so this is also where it's like, how bearable can he handle the heat? And that's and he's getting closer and closer, and he's gonna find out fairly soon.
All right, Morgan.
She's just gonna walk up to the edge and just jump She's gonna let herself start falling before she transforms to a crow. She's gonna fall for a little while.
Okay. To what ultimate end? You start to fall. As you're beginning to tumble, you still see Johnny sort of tumbling way off in the distance, but you see him zigging and zagging between these things as more join the fight as he smashes them, right? Johnny is in full sort of hero mode in this particular perspective. Gio, on the other hand, you fall past him as you see him in the clutches in the arms of one of these things. And for the first time, you see it looks like some sort of rock, humanoid, gigantic thing, 12 feet tall, huge, just sort of gnarled hands. Almost think of like a stone golem, except more looking like the Thing from Fantastic Four. And you fall past, and eventually, as you kind of fall past, that's when you begin your transformation, and you're in this incredibly dark shaft that just goes on forever.
Is there anything coming after me?
No, not yet. Everything seems to be focused on Gio or Johnny at this point.
What is the thing that has Gio doing?
It's climbing down.
So it is climbing down. Okay.
Oh, it's climbing down, yeah.
Can I see the lava below at all?
Oh yeah, you can see the glow of it. You
Okay.
can't see how you can't see it as clearly as Johnny can because he's almost there.
I'm gonna get as close as I can to where Johnny is so that I can
Okay.
see him.
All right, so in bird form, as a crow, you imagine that you would just dive and be able to move much more quickly, hitting terminal velocity very quickly.
Right.
Whereas Johnny is just kind of bouncing back and forth and kind of slowing his momentum. And so for Gio, say what?
So then there's a lot of updraft for him. So it's
There would be
slowing down everybody else, so she's just pushing through it.
Right, exactly. And so you're able to gain some distance and get closer to him as you continue to see him as he gets closer and closer to the lava. For Gio, we're going to cut back to Gio for just a second. You feel the sense of the compelling coming back. Do you give in?
I've already given in. There's nothing stopping me anymore.
Okay. Well, you allow this thing to kind of take you, and after a certain point, Morgan misses this because it steps into essentially a huge gaping area, like an open hole in the side of this. Sort of steps in, and you disappear into the stone into the surrounding rock formation around you, into a tunnel. And we cut to Johnny, who was doing his like back and forth thing, and he is mere hundreds of feet from the lava at this point, sweating. And you're jumping back and forth, and as you get lower and lower, you see that there are stone outcroppings that you could grab onto if you wanted to. Can't hear you.
Yeah. How close are they to the lava?
You can see them. You can see them as perches, taking you almost all the way to where the level of the lava is itself.
I want to land on one, and I want to put the top of my hand on top of the lava.
All right, so you're fighting these things back and forth, right? And how are you going to grab? How are you going to land yourself on one of these things, these outcroppings, to be able to touch the lava? Because you're still in a fight. Just because you haven't rolled doesn't mean you're not still in a fight at this point.
I know I'm still in the fight. So basically, what he would do is he would because this thing's bigger than him, right?
Yes, it's about 12 tall.
Yeah. So
these things are 12 feet tall. There's multiple.
So he would like kind of do a maneuver where he spins it around and then does like a crouching move as he's like holding two of his arms. and like launches off to the side of the wall and like sticks his hand in the wall and skitters all the way down and projecting the other stone monster into the side, and all the other, like all the debris that's like falling down the hole, and like I imagine chunks of like the monster or stone, whatever it is, are landing in the lava. Whether they can move or not, I don't know. But he would bring himself all the way to like the bottom of it, and he would look at the lava, and his curiosity would be really getting the better of him, and he just wants to put his hand on top of the lava to see if it burns him.
All right. So I think this is take a risk to be able to stop yourself. I could see it being face danger too. I mean, there's any number of things that you could argue with respect to how to determine the results, or how to get to a roll. So just tell me what move that you think applies.
I'm gonna do face danger.
Okay.
Because it's kind of going about it that way. That where he's like he's fighting someone. There is a danger coming up, and getting himself into a position where if the lava does hurt him, because he doesn't know that he can get out of there in some manner or fashion of like doing Mario wall jumps all the way up. I want to say invulnerability, impressive inhuman strength, ultimate fighter, and parry. I'm gonna take off these weaknesses. And I'm gonna say weak when hungry as well again, because he is hungry at this moment in time. Is there still a lack of mist down here? Is there any other story tags that would negatively affect me?
Does Johnny like the heat? Because he's sweating buckets.
I mean, he's not bothered by it. I mean, this is probably the first time he's like sweated that much, but
no, I wouldn't think that would affect him because of his invulnerable disposition, unless Johnny had a personal problem with it. Go ahead, Trent, what's up?
How far away is he from the lava? I mean, if he physically putting his hands on it,
He'd be very close.
His clothes are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like he lost everything. He never bought a new phone yet, so he's good on that.
But your clothes are on fire and your shoes are melted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's fine. I completely intended that to happen.
Okay.
So I mean, like,
Good thing Cal's not here.
No, his fashion designer Edna Mole made him something very special.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I have a superhero suit. That's what gets revealed at this moment in time. It turns out that
Johnny's costume is a uniform.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna roll face of danger here. I'm at a +3. Got that marked. Okay. Bam. 9. That scared me for a second. So mild success.
So describe to us when Johnny puts his hand to the lava, feels something, but doesn't really get hurt, much like the lightning.
Yeah, if that's the case, he would like take a little bit on his fingers and be like, huh. And then kind of do that. Kid looks at it and he's like, that's not it. And it looks like he's kind of dwelling on himself, and he looks disappointed. And he begins, and if Morrigan can see him, she would see that from her psychologist side, that he looks disappointed from not feeling pain, and probably dwelling on why he's being such a risk taker at the moment. Is looking for that thing that can give him pain because he never felt it before. So it's a new experience he's never felt. And so in his mind, he's like, he just looks sorely disappointed, and he begins to then procreate. He begins to look at the rock monster that is like melting in the thing, and all the other chunks are now are starting to rain down and falling into the lava, and he just looks sorely even more disappointed that this is not the fight he was supposed to fight. And he begins to angrily punch the wall, and like Hulk does, like, in like Avengers, where he's like bashing around the fucking building. But it's the fact that he's just like punching and then moving himself up and punching and then moving it faster and faster, and he's just like punching up the wall, like punching his arm in and making a hold, and then like punching another step in, and then making footholds with his foot and crawling all the way back up as he defeated everyone, or all the falling things.
He didn't defeat all the falling things.
Oh, are there still a bunch up there?
Yeah, they didn't melt in the lava either.
Oh, they did not.
You were imagining that they melted in the lava. They did not melt in the lava.
Okay.
I'm also going to say one more thing about your face danger roll.
Huh.
While you didn't take physical damage, you're going to take a tier 1 exhausted status.
Okay. So I'm going to have that. Let me mark that down, because we can mark
On our
that.
newfangled character sheets where we have status cards.
Clues, status. Okay. Tier 1. Exhausted. So do I? Oh, and that's a minus. So hold on. Let me turn that back down. Oh, and I can make that a story tag. No missed.
Yeah, you can add a story tag to it too as well.
No missed. All right. So I can stop adding negatives. Let's do a minus and do that. So hold on. Can I do a test roll real quick?
You sure can.
Let's do it. Hit him with all you got. Power 2. Let me see what I got marked. So I think that works.
does.
Yeah,
It's
because
awesome.
I had a -3. Okay, that's cool. So I don't have to worry about adding minuses all the time if I just keep up to date on the story tags.
Yep.
That makes no sense. Adding
Okay, so as this is sort of happening, as you're sort of kind of grabbing onto things and kind of just grappling with this situation, as you're beginning to climb up, the other stone creatures are sort of coming towards you. Some of them are jumping across. Some of them are climbing through the lava, swimming through the lava, and getting to you. They do not appear to be affected by the heat or the lava itself, and so they're just grabbing on and just kind of moving forward. Morrigan, you see that this is beginning to happen, and as you're getting closer, you're beginning to feel the heat. You're beginning to feel a little bit of that kind of affect you. That you've got your wings.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get to a point where I put my physical body in danger.
In danger. Okay.
Yeah, no. As soon as I start feeling too much heat, I'm gonna basically hover and go a little bit higher to just get a glimpse of what's happening. I'll explain this when we close out the session of why Morrigan's been so passive. But can she look around for Geo? I know you said that she missed what happened, so she's going to be looking around to see where he is.
You don't see him at first. You don't see any indication of where he is. But because of your heightened senses as the crow, you get little smells, and you get little scents, and you realize that his scent is coming out from some of these tunnels that are kind of laced around this thing, right?
Okay.
So there are various gaping holes that look to be about the tunnel size shape of one of these things, and the scent keeps coming out that he's in there somewhere.
Okay, I'm gonna look for him. If you want me to roll, like, I don't know, investigator or something like that.
Yes, I think that's fine. You're willing to investigate, but I think when it comes to the fact that there are clues or anything, it's going to be a 1-to-1 kind of a thing.
Okay.
It's like if you succeed, then yeah, you find him. If you fail, then yeah.
Would you rather I roll take a risk?
No, I think investigate's fine.
Okay.
I mean, unless you feel whichever one thing you think is going to have the better result that you're looking for.
I'm just, if it's a find them or don't kind of thing, I just wanted to make it not super complicated for you, but I can do the investigate.
Sure, that works.
'Cause, yeah, I get dynamite on investigate anyway, so I'm gonna put the story tag, so no mist being effective here as a minus, right? So or lack thereof
Yes.
mist.
Yes.
And then do I have any other status effects or story tags?
No.
Okay.
You are not being affected by anything else but the mist at this point, or
Okay.
lack of mist at this point.
Okay, cool. Come on, click the thing. So Crow, I'm going to use grant power, and I'm going. Hello, clicky off the other tab. There we go. Every single time I hover over the one that I want, it disappears behind the other one. Okay, and I'm going to use. Actually, you know, I don't think I'm going to actually apply anything else because I don't have anything else that I can apply here, really. I'm gonna use the innocuous power tag from our crew tag theme, I think, since nobody really notices that I'm even here. And that'll be it. Any weaknesses? I'm applying apathetic per my previous behaviors.
I can't wait to hear the motivation. I'm loving this so far.
Oh, it's great. Don't forget, she is a psychiatrist. Okay.
She is evil.
All right, cool. So it's just going to be a power of 1, rolling with dynamite and investigate. Did that work? Hello? There we go. Wow, okay.
So you're able to follow the scents that you're getting, the little whiffs of geo scent, right? And because whatever's happening is bringing him closer and closer towards the lava, his body is starting to, is starting to perspire. So you're getting his scent coming with his perspiration incredibly well, right? And so you're able to kind of follow him, and you can, without seeing him, get a sense of where he is, and he's about halfway down, still making his way. Not even remotely close to where you and Johnny are at this point, but close. He is coming down. He's coming closer, and he's moving faster than you would expect, given how long, how deep this actually goes into the earth.
Okay, but I know where the direction that he's in. Okay, I'd like to go as fast as I can to close the distance. I'm in crow form still, so.
Okay, so we'll just say that you close the distance, and we're going to cut back to Johnny. All right. They're coming for you, Johnny.
So I'm going to roll change the game.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start Mario jumping in the walls. So if anything's in my way, he's going to charge through it and then be jumping to the next one and to the next one and jumping, like wall jumping all the way up. And so I'm going to do impressive, inhuman strength, indomitable. I'm taking off parry. Beat them at everything and to go all the way with... I want to say arcade repair for the simple fact that he's probably played a lot of Mario games or even Mega Man games where he is recalling wall jumping as an ability that he may have and pertaining to. Okay.
Yes, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Yeah. Sorry.
So long as when you do it, you're like, X, B, Y, 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 B, B, Y, B.
B dash, B dash, B dash.
I thought you were going to tell him he has to do the Mario theme song as he's doing it.
Yeah. Like every time you hit a wall, you have to go bling.
No, that's the wrong one, because you would have to do the underworld. Yes, exactly. See?
No, I was going to do the Super Mario Brothers Super Show theme song.
Oh my god, I haven't thought about that in a long time. All right.
No,
No, live action movie, the one with the reptiles. I feel like that's
Oh,
one.
Oh no! There's only one live action one, and it's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. That's the greatest one, and especially when Luigi got possessed by a ghost and Ernie Hudson.
Okay.
What? I'm just
Sidetracked.
saying that was my favorite episode because the Ghostbusters were in it. Change the game. 14. So I get 3 juice out of this. Correct?
You get 4 juice. Remember, the first one counts as 2 because it's a great success.
Okay.
However, because of the lava, the juice immediately evaporates, so you get nothing.
0.
Good taste.
So let's say my juice. So they have juice tags in here now. So I'm trying to recall what I can do with juice again. So I can make story tags, right? Or
Yes. So it applies just like the way that we did it before, right? You can do a story tag. You can do status effects. You can prolong status effects or story tags. And then we can, it's like anything else. So it's your call.
Can I get rid of a status effect?
You sure can.
So as he's moving up, I want to say he cools down, which takes away exhausted.
So you can get rid of that status effect of 1. Absolutely, that's going to be 1 juice.
Then no miss, he can't affect. And then
Wait, no, and then no what? I'm sorry, say that again.
No miss is a story tag. He can't get rid of that.
No, he cannot. That is, that's totally.
He can't be like, and I'm creating mist now because that's my secret power. I told you no one about.
He just gets to like powdered dust out of his satchel. He's like mist as he's going around. Sorry.
Magic.
Smoke
Exactly.
machines from the arcade.
Thank you for the magic part.
I want to make a story tag of falling staircase, and what falling staircase is that the enemies are coming down at him as he's wall jumping, and they're all jumping at him, and he's doing that. He's not, instead of like going through and like trying to fight all of them and like be superhero-y, he's like literally using them as platforms and jumping up as like it's a falling down game. So falling staircase. And that's going to be a tag of 2, or no, 1. I'm sorry, 1 bonus for like movement and that kind of stuff. And then and he has 2 more. I'm going to bank them for right now.
I'm glad that you did that.
Yeah, because I don't have anything else I really want to do. Johnny's just trying to get up and fight these things, and then have a heroic, oh, we thought you were dead entrance. And it is going on in his head. We thought you were dead, because he doesn't know Morrigan and Geo followed him in here. So he wants to get back up to the top. And so being like, and then everyone be sad. And then we're like, we're sorry for being nosy in your business earlier. We didn't mean to nag you. You're the greatest. So that's and there's a Johnny parade that happens at this moment in time.
This is sort of like the scene in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade when he climbs up off the cliff and everybody's standing there looking over thinking he's died. He just kind of steps up next to him and kind of looks down into the hole with them, and Sean Connery hugs him. I thought I'd lost you, boy. Yeah.
That is honestly one of my favorite scene from that movie, just because of that exchange. It's so great. So banking the other 2 juice. As you kind of jump and get out, kind of making your move forward. Morrigan sees you begin to do this as well. However, Johnny, you're starting to have trouble breathing a little bit. The fumes and the are starting to get to you a little bit, and so you're starting to feel something. There's something going on there. We're going to cut to Morrigan, who is, kind of noticing this happen as Johnny's making his way, as you're still tracking Geo kind of falling, kind of making his way down. Like you're like right, next to him. And as you kind of see, you can see him kind of circling with this thing kind of moving down. What do you want to do?
Is it clear the path that this thing is going towards? Like that
It's going down towards the lava.
Morgan's gonna leave. Enough that she can see what's going to happen, but so that she isn't interfered with.
Morgan's gonna leave?
Like, she's gonna, like, okay, it's taking him down to the lava. Like, what, like, I'm not gonna be able to stop a rock monster from doing this, obviously.
Are you sure?
I'm a crow, not a rock. Rock, crow can't fight rock. I mean,
I don't know what's the airspeed velocity of a laden crow.
Crow doesn't beat rock. It's like rock, paper, crow.
yeah, rock, paper, crow, man.
I mean, you've transformed into a beast man before.
I can transform into lots of different things, but that's not what Morgan's motivations are right now. So stop questioning my gosh darn motives, okay? Okay, great. Yeah, she wants to see what happens to Johnny and Geo.
Okay. So Johnny's continuing to make his way back up. He's oblivious to this. I'm going to play the scene out a little bit more. And okay. So Johnny, you continue to make your way back up, and at some point they're trying to keep up with you, and you just can't. And so you start to do your climbing thing. When you can't, you don't have enough of them until they begin to catch up.
Okay.
For Geo, he gets dragged all the way down, compelled and given in. And as you're kind of taking this in, Morgan, you notice that there is a series of rock formations that are beginning to appear in the lava. As Geo and this creature get to the bottom, and the creature kind of takes him and hops along these rock formations and disappears through a final hole on the far side. And when you follow him down a tunnel, and it's incredibly hot here, but you're able to withstand it enough, do it quick enough that you're able to get in and kind of move into this tunnel. And Geo is like gingerly placed down on the ground and just allowed to settle as this thing kind of rights itself up, turns, and begins to move away. And there is a dim light sort of in the center of this huge cavern. And there is a figure approaching Geo.
Who is it?
Geo, watching this kind of situation, you hear the siren song sort of diminish and fade. And listening in, you feel it gone, and you feel your heart. And there is a shadowy figure kind of stepping forward in front of you. And step by step, you see this figure just sort of come into the light that's right next to it. And then you realize it's her. Although her skin is very different. It looks as if it's stone. Molten, colored sort of stone and rock sort of shifting. And as she steps forward, she says, "Hello, Geo." And that's where we're going to end it.
No.
Now, damn it, I wanted to get to Herbert tonight because I had something special for Herbert too, but it's like we're right at the 3-hour mark, and it's a perfect place to end. So,
What do you mean? Herbert was the one who's carrying me down, right?
oh, what's that again?
I get it. Oh man, guys, I held back so much.
Well, so you still have there's a couple things in play here. Johnny still has some juice, and Morgan still has her reset card.
Mm-hmm.
So I am very curious to see when she uses it, because she's going to change what happens to Geo next if she uses it.
Yeah, you guys just wait and see what happens. I have things. I have plans. I don't have plans with Johnny RMC, but I have plans for Morrigan.
I'm looking forward to this.
Is that why she was not doing anything the whole time?
Yes.
Is it because this is a future path?
This is
Yeah. Her clairvoyance right now, basically. I mean, for lack of a better word, she's letting things play out.
I thought that was only like a little bit into the future. Not
No.
like...
She rolled a stop holding back. Yeah. I decided to allow her to go as far as she wanted with this.
Okay.
Okay, so let me be clear about this, and it's funny because Speedy sent me something about this. There will be a consequence even though she rolled successfully. That being said, the farther we go along, will determine how the consequence comes to play. It's really, really cool, though, what I've got in mind. So I'm looking forward to when she actually implements this. If she takes this away from you, if she doesn't, that'll be even more interesting.
Guess you'll just have to wait and see.
Ah.
I can't tell you guys about the whole thing with at the end of the show today because we didn't come to a close. So I'll wait until next time to explain what's going on with Morrigan here.
I can't wait until next week when I'm not in a library so I can scream at you.
So I would say that both Meta and Speedy are going to be expecting to have long chats with me about what's going to happen next week. Speedy, we have been building to something like this for almost a season and a quarter. So now that you're there, I really want to. I hope Morgan doesn't undo it, but I kind of do at the same time. I'm just going to be honest.
Depends on how evil I'm feeling next week, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Today was really tough. There were so many things I could have done, but I didn't.
Listen,
I'll give you incentive to be evil next week.
Okay.
I'm
Make
gonna
it-
be reunited with my hell girlfriend in hell, and you're gonna tear me away from her.
If it saves my boyfriend, not boyfriend, maybe.
So is Gio's clothes on fire currently?
I don't think he has any clothes anymore. Or wait, because I would be
Interestingly
burned up.
enough, his clothes aren't on fire. There's a reason for it, though. Tony, your backpack also melted off with all your food, man. I think you've gone full caveman. You're like somebody out of starting in Ark at the beginning. You're naked.
He starts
Gotta
punching
punch
the wall
trees.
so he can make an axe
Yeah.
and shit.
Gio's still wearing clothes because the truth is he's never wearing clothes. It's just part of his mythos. Although without the mist,
Yeah, good point.
All right, well, let's wrap things up here, I guess. We can go around to the cast and get some final thoughts and get excited for next week when we'll be back. Let's go ahead and start with Johnny. McLoken Johnny.
Hi, I'm McLoken. I have a usually busy schedule. Let's start off with Mondays. Mondays, I'm currently not doing anything until June 11th, where I'm going to be starting up my own City of Mist campaign, and I have to write that out of my brain, which I'm super excited about. And then Tuesdays, starting next week on May 23rd, I'm going to be playing in on a counter roleplay, a campaign called The World Tree Burns, where I'm excited about the character I've created there because he has a crazy backstory and it's fucking dark. And so I get to play a little gnomish character. So I have all that ready to go. Wednesdays next week will be, or actually no. That's the 22nd, the 23rd, that Wednesday. So the 22nd, I begin that campaign, and it's my birthday, so that's pretty awesome.
Wait,
And
what day
the 22nd
of?
May.
Oh,
Next
Trying
week.
to birthday the 22nd of June.
yeah.
Mine's the 21st of June. You're born one day after me, and like a few years.
I feel like we went through this last year,
Aw,
guys.
how cute.
Didn't we go through this last year?
I don't
we
know,
were playing
maybe.
Blades at that point. I think we went through this last year.
Probably.
My birthday's in
Weirdos.
June too. Are we all June
I
and
thought so.
May? Wait, when's yours?
Johnny, when's your birthday?
Well, you don't have to tell us the year. Gosh, we already know you're like 210 years old.
Fuck you, Meta. Fuck you. It's just like Mike.
11.
Fuck you, Meta.
He
God.
said it's the 11th. That's what he said.
Yeah.
right?
Oh, okay.
No, I'm in November.
What?
November 26th.
November. Well, one of these
See?
things.
11th.
I'm
Oh,
June
November.
15th too. What the hell?
Wait, when is your birthday? June 13th?
15th.
15th.
Same as MNV.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Trend is a Cancer, right?
Gemini Cancer cusp.
Yeah.
Your birthday is actually
Gemini.
my mom's birthday too.
I'm not related to you.
Taurus.
We keep
Gemini.
thinking that, but there's no way to know for sure.
Okay, so not to
Yes,
get
McLoken,
sidetracked.
Please continue.
So Tuesdays, May 22nd, I'll be starting the World Tree Burns Mint card campaign on Encounter Roleplays channel. Wednesday, May 23rd, will be the beginning of season 2 of Chosen, which is gonna be crazy. If you guys remember what happened at the end of season 1, if you guys have not, go follow my YouTube channel and get caught up. And then Thursdays, I'm in this wonderful campaign playing Johnny, and apparently being the naked boy wonder, who's expecting a parade of joy and happiness as everyone realizes how much they miss Johnny as he comes out of this hole. And Fridays, I play in a Dark Heresy campaign called Firebrand on Metamancer's channel, where I essentially play Judge Dredd. Saturdays are my day off currently, and then some days, I play in a Call of Cthulhu campaign where my character last time sadly got eaten out of existence by hounds of Tindalis. So sad day. It was a sad day. It was great because he just had a very bonding moment with one of the characters, and that character had a really dark history of like losing her parents, and then so they had this bonding moment, and then he got ripped from existence, and it fit in narratively so well. So yeah, that's you guys come by. I think Saturday Meta we're doing
We're doing a Conan Exiles event.
yeah, we're doing Conan's Exile RP on the Darksiders.
Dark Side RP.
Dark Side. Okay. Dark Side
They
RP.
corrected me. That's why I'm correcting you.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
We're going to be playing. I play Buchanan, or people just call him Duke, the barbarian man who swings giant swords at people. So a lot of people in Conan. And yeah, so that's where you can find me. Sorry for the long speech. I do a lot of things, and I work a full-time job.
You should do some more things. I think you're missing some.
Mhm.
Crack cocaine.
Yeah, that'll actually help you get the other things done.
Yeah.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Who needs sleep?
All right, Meta, why don't you tell us your closing thoughts and who you are and stuff?
I'll get the boring stuff out of the way. You guys can find me on Twitter, where I post all my show announcements, but I do very briefly. Tuesday nights I have a show on Made Gaming's channel. On Thursdays I run a City of Mist campaign on Encounter Roleplays at noon, and then I'm here in the evening. Then Fridays I'm doing Dark Heresy on my channel, and then Sundays I'm doing Call of Cthulhu, where I run a campaign on my channel. So just, again, follow me on Twitter. That is literally the best place you can go to find all the information. If you don't use Twitter, you should, because all the cool RP stuff happens on Twitter, and then there's like tons of giveaways, so really you're just missing out. And this is not a plug for Twitter, it's just like the only thing that people use nowadays. So anyway,
Hashtag ad.
yes, I wish I was getting paid for this. No, just kidding. I had a great time tonight. I wish I could tell you guys what was going through Morrigan's head, but I'm gonna hold off until we resolve the situation, because yeah, I was private messaging Trend because I was like, I want to be so evil, please help. But I held back a little bit because I wanted to see what would happen, and there's opportunity, as has already been pointed out, for me to really fuck things up. So I'm really excited for that, and excited to talk to Johnny about it offline so that he knows where my head's at and is prepared for multiple scenarios that could happen as a result of the decision-making process. So other than that, I'm not going to say anything else, but I'm very excited about next week because, yeah, I really like the ability of having some influence on other people's personal stories. I think it's much more fun that way when it's not just the game master doing all that. So, okay. Yeah, that's me.
I'm sorry, Gio. I was going to say now. I'm sorry.
You're not sorry at all. All right,
I'm actually not, because I trust Meta.
All right, and yes, thank you. You could definitely go follow Meta as well on Twitter, exclusively Twitter. Don't follow her Twitch. She clearly only said to follow her Twitter. Okay, Trendane. Who are you again? I didn't hear from you today.
No, much like what Meta said, you know, it's amazing how much fun you can have even when your character isn't doing anything, because she and I are back and forth and Johnny and I are back and forth. And so it's like, and I'm sitting here, you know, figuring out, it's like, all right, okay, so this means this and this and this and this and this. And then there's the various times that I get to weigh in on well, there's this possibility and this possibility, you could do this and this and this. So I mean, it's not like I didn't do anything. So, and it was still fun to watch it all play out. So for those of you who were like, I'm sorry you didn't get to play, fuck you, I did get to play. Just, you know, a different way than normal, but it's still a lot
In a
of
less public, secretive way.
well, perhaps, maybe. You don't know yet.
I don't.
So
I may never know. It's true.
That's true. That's true. I do have a question, which is that big in the overlay right there, that big empty space on the screen. What are we planning on doing with that? Okay, thanks. Just like tons of screen real estate over there that we're doing nothing with.
I would like to suggest that we change our screen overlay. I'm muting myself again.
There is another one that doesn't have that. Well, but there's that one doesn't have the dice rolls. We need, yeah.
So who am I? I'm Trent Sparks. I'm a professional voiceover actor person who was recently still in the BattleTech game from Harebrained Schemes. My BattleTech Embers of War audiobook has now been released. It is available on Audible. You were gonna.
It is fucking awesome so far. It is awesome. You guys need to buy it right now. Sorry.
It's okay. I don't mind you pimping my. I was gonna. I don't mind. And I am just about to start a Shadowrun audiobook in probably the next day or two. We were going to have the 12-hour thank you stream on Saturday. That is being
Rescheduled.
So that'll be this June 2nd, I think, is what we've decided thus far. So there's that. And when are you going to see me next? Here, actually, right back here on Thursday. And then next weekend, starting on Friday, which is Memorial Day weekend, we have ArvCon, which is Arvin Eleron's charity stream, where we're doing the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all day. And on Friday morning, we do Adventures in Middle Earth, where I play a Beorning named Tonibear the Hearthminder, who is a master healer. And so he used to be like Rage Monster, and now he's a pacifist, and it causes all kinds of internal strife in the party, and it's amazing. And then on Sunday, we are going to be, come hell or high water, possibly literally, going to be wrapping up the last of the Rise of Tiamat. Basically going to be starting at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Ooh, wow. And then going until we're done. All day.
Just out of curiosity, I know that adventure really well, but I haven't watched you guys play that. Where are you in the story?
We just finished the last Lord's Council meeting.
How long is that left?
You still have a lot to do.
I know. I mean, I don't know the module, but I imagine we still have quite a bit to do.
Time to stop role playing and start rolling dice.
I don't know about that.
I don't think that's going to help.
I know it's not. I know it's not going to stop them at all.
So much like McLoken, I need to stock up on snacks and stuff and just have them all sitting all around me so that I can just eat while we're doing the thing. Yeah, and then back here again for City of Mist on the Thursday after that.
Absolutely. And maybe we'll get to see a little bit more about who Herbert is and how he might play into all of this, because I'm really excited and curious. And let's go now to Johnny, VideoStoreCowboy, to tell us about him.
I'm gonna start with the fact that I had no idea that we were going to spend the entire time in this particular place. So the reveals here and the struggles here were planned on some level, but this was a different way that it got implemented. However, you guys are seeing something that nobody else has seen, which is life or the world outside of the mist, which is something that I have alluded to as being a little bit more complicated and less mundane than people would expect, but nobody has taken it up until this point. So I'm really excited to kind of explore some of this. and what that actually means, what the bounds of the mist actually mean. So thank you guys, but also fuck you guys. Just saying. But it was good. And I do have a lot for Herbert to do, and I was hoping to get to Herbert tonight, but the break in the action didn't make sense. So I'm looking forward to next week in that respect. Johnny, Video Store Cowboy, the GM for 6 and 20. We do these crazy things across 3 channels. Tuesday nights on my channel, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday nights over on Unmade, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And then Thursdays here, we do this crazy thing, and it's all the same world. So it was a great show tonight, great time. And yeah, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for leading us through that, Johnny. It was absolutely crazy. Like he said, definitely go follow Video Store Cowboy, and definitely go follow Unmade Gaming, the 2 other channels which we run this show on. If you enjoyed what you saw tonight, you can see more of it 3 nights a week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays on those 3 channels. So super awesome collaborative thing going on. I don't know exactly where the other teams are, but I know that there was a one-shot run on Tuesday that sounded really dang cool, along with the new crew member, MVN Foundry, right?
Yeah, Coley, MVN Foundry.
Yeah. So definitely go check out all those other channels. We're going to end things up here with a raid, but before we do that, I just want to thank everyone again for coming out. My name is Speedy. This is my channel, NotSoSpeedRuns, and I am streaming all month long, trying to be full-time, raising money for St. Jude Children's Hospital. And so we've been raising money. There's a charity donation thing up there. If we reach $500 on that mark, we're going to be doing a 12-hour stream. And if we reach the full 1,000, I'll be dyeing my hair some crazy color that the top owner wants. And so I'll be doing several other streams to be promoting that further. My schedule is technically kind of up in the air right now because I'm moving, but I will no longer be streaming out of the library soon, and I will be streaming out of my own apartment as soon as I get internet in there, which is going to be soon because I've actually moved in now. So get ready for that, and hopefully I will be back on the schedule, which you can find pinned on my Twitter, which you should also try and follow me on. Thank you guys for coming out and watching. We are going to end this off with a raid, and we're going to go over to my friend over at the Bubbernaut. Bub is a super awesome guy, and I don't know if it's been announced yet, but I'm going to tease that there may be something happening soon with Bub and I, and maybe some other wonderful people. So we're going to go over there and say hi, show him some love.
Are you guys getting married?
I can't say that for sure,
Okay,
but you know, it might. I don't want to jinx it. Okay, I heard he was ring shopping. But I don't know. But go over there, go show him some love. If you have the NotSo's love emote, make sure to spam it in chat. Thank you guys so much for coming out and watching. I will see you all next time. As always, don't forget to take it slow. Bye.